Welcome, one and all, to the K.O.E. Nation, folks, for a special breaking news bulletin. Hazard Analysis, the great new show that you have come to know and love that stars your King of Extreme Phil K.O.E. and the one and only Tony G. We are moving to a new time slot. We are going to 9 p.m. Sunday evening. So we are your Sunday evening chill, kind of your Reader's Digest of the week, so you can get to know what to expect for your week to come. So yes, folks, hazard analysis. So you know what the hazard will be in the week to come, and you'll have the analysis to arm your mind for it. So folks, yes, I've got the links just right down there, but let's see, I believe, there we go. I'm dropping it in the comments right now of wherever all good KOE content can be found. Here is the YouTube link for Hazard Analysis, my new show. Now, this last week, there was a little bit of a kerfuffle, a bit of a confusion. And I'm not going to play the first initial bit, but just when we finally get into the discussion here, I want you, audience, to tell me who's right, who's wrong. Was Phil KOE right, or was Tony G and Justin, those no-good rapscallion ne'er-do-wells, were they wronger than wrong could ever be, or was your King of Extreme right as rain? I mean, really, what other choices are there? But there was a little controversy about what the start time was going to be, but other than that, it was an excellent episode of Hazard Analysis, and we're going to get into that and a lot more this evening, folks. We got some big controversies to hit on. We also have some big championships that we've hit. But folks, right here at KOE Nation on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch, please like, share, subscribe. Head on over to Hazard Analysis so you can get all of that hazardous analysis for you. But let's get right into the show this evening and see what do y'all think? Was I obviously right, or was that rapscallion ne'er-do-well Tony maybe even had like a thinnest piece of a potential of a point here? I don't know. Yeah, I changed the title on Twitch. Actually, it wouldn't let me change it on YouTube, but we can. But what does it matter? So, folks, don't worry. Your real celebrity has gotten here. Your real celebrity is here. Don't worry. Yeah. So, folks, how are we all doing this evening? God bless every last one of you. Yeah. So we'd agreed on a 9 o'clock showtime, but here we are now.
And then you fucking went rogue on me. God damn it.
So, Jesus. Okay. So, yeah, I mislabeled the thing, but it doesn't mean that we changed the showtime. But, folks, we're here for the amazing show that is Hazard Analysis. So, Tony, I'm going to send some messages out to some people.
That'd be great. I wish you would.
God almighty. So, folks, I just hope that you're all having a marvelous evening. So, Tony, how are we doing this evening? What are you drinking?
I suck, Phil. I suck.
I know.
Fucking ass.
I know, especially at scheduling. So, folks. All right. Yes. Here we go. It's your Phil KOE show, folks. It's what you really need. So, folks, right here at Hazard Analysis, we need to get into all the topics of the day, but I can do it all solo. So we've got all kinds of things we need to get into. Now there's somebody coming in over the audio. But yes, we've got all kinds of things we can get into this evening. So Tony's doing the protest. I am protesting this show. I shan't not, I shall not, but we will move onward and upward. Yes, I'm getting a message Phil, send what's his name an invite. I'm working on that right now. So
This is maybe why we don't wait till the last minute. But whatever. It's fine. It's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody.
It is Friday. Thought we had 20 more minutes till showtime, but folks.
So did I yesterday. But hey, what do you know?
Maybe clear that by the star of the show before we go on live.
Hey, maybe just stick to what we agree and don't mislabel things. But whatever, it's cool.
Well, so
great.
Folks, let me wonder what you think in the back. I did accidentally put 8:30 because it's always been 8:30 for years now. So I accidentally typed 8:30. Be here 8:30 tomorrow. But I did actually fix it in my Twitch stream to be here at 9. And we did agree last night on 9. But now here we are. So
yeah, before you went live.
But I just
went with 8:30.
Now, folks, I'm curious, would you assume that the conversation that we had just previously had would be valid or not? Like, I'm curious what y'all think. Would the previous conversation that we had just had be a valid thing to assume or, sorry. So that's where that came from. So this has been easily the greatest start in podcast history, Tony.
Easily. I'm just glad to be here for it.
I know. This is truly momentous occasion. This is truly a great episode to be. Hazard Analysis episode 4.
Yeah, Bandit. Bandit says I missed it because y'all were late. Yeah, we were definitely late and early at the same time.
Yes, it's kind of it's depending on who you ask. We were late or early. So so. Tony's just like wishing he could shove a pie in my face through the screen.
I wish we were in person today. Like today, I wish
Tony,
we were streaming in the same room.
You'd be giving me such a big hug right now, and just a
really tight, squeezing hug. Yeah,
right around the neck. Yeah, it would be sort of like a rear naked choke almost. But
Justin,
hug.
I'm going to need you to clip out that Phil intro from tonight because that was amazing. Phil comes into the live stream singing Bare Necessities. What?
Well, yeah, I didn't think we were live yet because, I thought we had...
Well, do you want to look at the fucking check?
Thought we had another 15 minutes.
I know you did.
I wanted to talk about the show and talk about all the amazing things that we got coming up tonight. And, get a good format now. But now, Tony, the amazing Hazard Analysis audience gets to see how the sausage is made.
Here's the sausage being made, Phil. Maybe don't wait till 5 o'clock on Friday to do that when I get home.
Do what?
Talk about the format.
Well, when else are we gonna do it? When
not when I'm literally finally at home for the first time in a week trying to have
and clearly
family.
Clearly, we need to schedule it like 3 or 4 days in advance now.
This is how this usually goes. I'm like Wednesday. Okay, we got to figure out topics. What format's gonna be? Feels like, we'll get to all that. But hey. Well, here's a bunch of random thoughts I bet you weren't thinking about. And then 5 o'clock Friday hits. I'm finally home for the first time all week with my family. Notifications on Messenger. What's this? 2.5 minutes of Phil talking. Oh, he's going to have input on the show. None of that had anything to do with the show.
I take umbrage to that. It all had lots to do with the show. I mean, everything I say is usually in promotion or in service to one of my many shows because I am basically the Drew Carey of podcasting. There's no such thing as enough shows for me.
That's true. That's one of the only true things you just said.
Oh, Tony, it's nothing but truth that always falls out of my mouth. But now
you must be the fiction in truth and fiction.
Folks, no. I'm the one that spits the truth. Ty's the one who always brings the establishment's fiction. But another great show that I'm on. But
speaking of another great show that you've been on before, next week, folks, big announcement, the return of the Dog and Chicken Show in your typical Friday night time slot. So here's what's going to happen with Big Buckin' Empire. We've got multiple shows on the Big Buckin' Empire, folks, on Facebook and YouTube and the like. You're used to seeing a live show on Friday. The Dog and Chicken Show will be back next week live in this time slot on Friday. So we're going to try and moving Hazard Analysis on over to, I believe, Sunday night. We'll
Sundays. The last time Tony and I had a discussion on it, we were going to go on Sunday. So Tony might decide decide to shoot live for Saturday someday,
Yes, that's
just
right.
randomly.
We
So.
started on Sunday, so Phil's going to do a live stream about it and promote it for Saturday. So that'll be fun. Hey, I like Justin Chris's comment here. Phil J, that's a great idea.
Phil, what are my choices for drinks?
Yeah.
You can make Tony drink a beer.
You can chug a bottle of gin, and I will pay whatever is necessary to make it happen.
Hey, Tony, fuck you.
Fuck you, Matt.
So, Jesus Christ. So what I'm hearing is I better go get my gin glass.
Yes, and he's asking, yes, Sunday. Yes, folks, it is imperative that you like, share, subscribe to Hazard Analysis on YouTube, and make sure you're subscribed to Big Buck and Empire and Facebook, YouTube, and all the like, so you can see both shows this week. Coming up, we got a double header next week, and we'll see how that goes. What are your choices for drinks? Okay, so, folks, I currently am drinking some Breckenridge Rum Cask Finish. That's my primer. I know I'm probably going to be chugging some beer tonight. Unfortunately, I have Bud Light that I have to get rid of. I don't like Bud Light. I haven't liked Bud Light in a long time, way before the controversy, but I have some that I need to get rid of. So, the Facebook subscribers, you can make me chug a beer. That's your choice, and it will be Bud Light. Or if you're not a Facebook subscriber, Yank will pop it up in the comments or on a banner or something, but it's the buymeacoffee.com/Tony the Rod. I think I'll pop it up on the screen here. And if you're not a Facebook subscriber, if you send a $5 tip to that, I will chug a beer for that as well. Phil, what you got going on there?
Oh, just nothing but fun. Nothing but fun here.
Great,
and I got
great.
Has I been told to just take one shot, or has double showed up
yet? No. Well, I don't know. Who? Yeah. Okay. Chicken made his choice. That's fine.
Now,
but again, the folks who are not paid Facebook subscribers, which I do encourage, go over to the Big Bucket Empire on Facebook and subscribe for $5 a month. Get to give us at least a couple drinks per show. But if you're not a Facebook subscriber and you want to participate in the drink bonanza as well, you can go to this link, which is buymeacoffee.com/Tony G. This is my page right there. And if you give a tip to that, I will chug a beer for you just the same. So without further ado, what do we got going? Chicken looks like he's got me a chug. I'll get that prepared. Does Phil have a gin shot to do already? Because I'll get ready on my end. Yes,
I do. So, God almighty. And right after this gin shot, I have a major introduction to make. But first, folks, to fighting, stealing, and drinking. If you're going to fight, may it be for a friend. If you're going to steal, may it be a lover's heart. And if you're going to drink, by God, I hope it's with me. Ugh. Oh, that's first drink of the night. Oh, that's
first drink of the night. Fantastic.
Now, to go with that, as a little palate cleanser after that awful gin, I have an announcement to make, Tony, because this episode has been batting 1,000 from the very second I got here.
Best episode yet.
Basically, it's basically our best production we've had since our introductory episode of the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast, in terms of production value and just pure charisma.
I'm having a lot of throwback memories to that first Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast.
I'm sure you are, Tony. I'm sure you are.
I am.
Now, I will say, though, we have making their way to the ring with a very special perspective and their hazard analysis debut. The one, the only, Zig Mover. How are we doing this evening, sir?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
I've been having mic problems all day, so I'm happy that y'all can hear me. Hey, how's it going? I'm Zig Mover. My Twitter is actually is the same as my name, so it's just twitter.com/ZigMover. Go ahead and follow me there. I usually just post either just wrestling tidbits or just gaming stuff. That's mainly what I pride myself on, talking about those two things. Friends have called me the wrestling historian. I think that's kind of a not a given term for me. I don't know. I know enough about wrestling, but I don't know that much about it. Also, so
excellent.
How
And
are you guys doing today?
Never better.
I
Welcome
was
to
about
the
to say
show,
it's been
sir.
an A+ production today. We've had just everything's going swell. And yes, I was wanting to do the mic checks with you and everything, you know, and you're here just in time, you know,
Yeah, of course.
like 8:52, like I said.
I literally just rolled out of bed. I actually went to lay down because I was tired, and I'm like, okay, I had to be up for this podcast. So I literally just rolled out of bed.
Well, thank you, sir. Punctual as always. Thank you. But we have a great many things to discuss this evening. But before we get into any of that, Tony, what are you drinking?
I already said that while you were getting your gin, but I'm starting with the Breckenridge rum cask
Oh,
finish.
you bastard.
And I also have to chug a bunch of beer already. And for those of you who have missed it, yes, I do unfortunately have a bunch of Bud Light I have to get rid of because it's either drink it or shoot it. I don't know. I hated it before the controversy, so I'm just going to drink it. So, yeah, he wants me to do that. It's in a can, by the way. No, I will not. I will not be displaying the empties. I'm sorry, Bandit. I can't do that. And looks like Steven's coming in for
God damn
another
it.
gin shot.
I saw it. I poured it.
Oh, well. Cheers, folks. This is disgusting.
Oh, man.
God.
For once, I've got the good end of this deal.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know if I'd go that far.
You just drank Bud Light. I'm drinking Snoop Dogg's gin, yo. I mean, come on.
Wait, Phil, wait. Hey, Phil, why don't you make it a double? Oh, that's sweet. It's nice that Bandit got in on the fun.
Bandit, I was just starting to like you.
You said that a lot.
You say that a lot these days. And when I do eventually get around to actually getting to drinking something I want to drink, I'm going to be drinking this Woodford Reserve Double Oak store pick from Spirit World, Whiskey for Good charity whiskey. So, yeah, that'll be whenever I can get into that. But, Bandit, Steve. God damn it. Woo! Your king of extreme and the prince and potentate of punctuality here, folks. God almighty. So, Zigmove, curious. This Friday night, are you enjoying any libation or are you being a teetotaler like the last two presidents we've had?
Well, here's the thing. I've recently, within the past like 6 months, become kind of straight edge. So I've away like all the drinking, all the smoking stuff and drugs and everything. So I haven't partaken in libations in a while. My lifestyle, my body feels so much better after going straight edge for the 6 months.
Good for you. Good for you.
So
I got nothing against it. I was straight edge for 10 solid years. Tony remembers that nice little chunk of my life. So I decided, you know what? It's time to enjoy the delicacies of life. But, you know, good for you, sir. Good for you.
But if I was doing it, I would be probably sipping on some Stella Artois. That's like my go-to. Some Stella. So, but you know, with the whole Anheuser-Busch stuff, I might actually start boycotting that shit too, because that's Anheuser-Busch as well. So
it is.
Yeah, we might actually touch on that a little later. So, folks, that'll be the main event for the evening, if you will. But yeah, like I said, whenever I can get to a clean glass, I'll be drinking on this.
Mm-hmm.
But without further ado, now, Zigmover, you and I have met on a couple of panels. We've talked mostly politics and such, so you can definitely hold your own in those regards. But I brought you on this evening to talk about something that's a specialty, and it's near and dear to all of our hearts here. And it is the sale of the WWE to Endeavor, making the tag team, the ultimate tag team of the WWE and the UFC as now one major entertainment conglomerate. And so we've all been talking about this and trying to figure out what's what. And so you've been mentioning you're getting ready for some of the spicy takes. You want to get into it, and so I'm going to let you. Oh, Grow the Farm Up Nebraska also leads the nation in alcoholism. Also, funny fact, we're also per capita the highest state of smokers. We have more smokers in our state per capita than anywhere else. So now that we've even given you a little bit of a Snapple fact, Zig,
Yes, sir.
what do you make all this, good sir?
The more and more I think about this, and when I first initially heard about the Endeavor deal, like the Endeavor merging with WWE, yeah, I thought this was a godsend. I'm like, oh, I'm glad the Saudis didn't get a hold of this company. I'm glad, like, this group guy didn't get a hold of this company, whatever. The more and more I think about this deal, and the more and more I think about this merger, the more and more I dislike it. And there's a couple of reasons. So the big standing fact is, and I've been kind of pushing for this. I've been a kind of a proponent for this for a long time. Is to make the wrestlers, instead of making them contractors, make them full-time employees with the company. I don't think that's going to happen now. I definitely don't think that's going to happen with the way Endeavor treats the UFC fighters. The UFC fighters are treated the same way as the wrestlers in the WWE. They're contract workers. The UFC fighters, I don't believe, get benefits or any sort of retirement or any sort of Medicare medical aid in regards to injuries or anything when they're in the hospital. So I know for a fact that the WWE people don't, the wrestlers don't do that.
Right.
Another big deal that doesn't really sit well with me, and I don't know if this is going to happen. But I have this inkling kind of in the back of my head that I might, and it really bothers me, is when the contract's up with NBC Universal, like the Peacock contract is up with NBC Universal. What is Endeavor going to do with the WWE live event product?
Mhm.
I don't think they're going to have us pay monthly for it. I think they're going to go ahead and put it as premium live events that we're having to pay like full price for every month, or have cut out shows every month and do it like every 2 months or whatever, but have us pay full price for it and put it on like ESPN Plus like they do with the UFC.
Mhm.
They have plenty of proof and they have plenty of evidence that works for the UFC live product, like the UFC 256s, the number products that you're paying like 90, 70 to $80 or $90 for it, depending on where you are, for for those ESPN Plus pay-per-views. I think they're going to do that with the WWE product, and I don't think it's going to be kind to the customer base of the WWE. But the thing is, people are going to pay it. People are going to pay it to watch the live product. So I don't think they'll have a problem with trying to market that.
Now, if I may, something to keep in mind. The minute I heard about this Endeavor deal, now, Tony,
Mhm.
correct me if I'm wrong here, and Zig, I'm wondering what your thoughts are on. My first thought is, well, the pay for UFC fighters is about to go way, way up, and the pay for the top guys of WWE is about to go way, way down. That was my first thought. Is UFC fighters might see a little bit of an increase in pay because they've got this massive promotional structure that is the WWE behind them. And also got top guys like Brock, suddenly their whole, hey, pay me more or else I'll go to the UFC. That just kind of got sweep the leg Johnny right out from under him, didn't it?
So a couple of things you mentioned now with independent contractors. We'll touch on that, I'm sure, at some point. But first and foremost, with the buyer being Endeavor and merging UFC and WWE and creating one umbrella company, if you want to look at it from a longevity standpoint, what's going to be best for WWE long term? Endeavor was probably hands down the best option.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Don't have a
better than
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia, for fuck's sake.
That's kind of my point, because if you're looking at the front runners, it wasn't going to be Fox, just outright Fox. Obviously, we knew this. NBC was really not willing to pay what they were after, and
$9 billion.
the Saudis, if the Saudis would have bought it, basically it would have tanked. The entire corporation would have tanked because they would not have known what to do with the company once they had it. They basically would have just said, well, it's ours now. What do we do with it? I don't know. Let people who already run it, and we're going to get to do all the live events overseas. And nobody would have wanted to do that in terms of the roster because why
Vince would.
And the other option
just let me keep running it.
And the other option was Disney, which we assumed was the front runner for a long time, and they ended up not pulling the trigger for whatever reason. But they would have probably put the program on their Disney Plus network. But what would have actually happened to the overall product? Now, the Saudis would have tanked the product, and Disney would have Disneyfied the product. So it would have turned into an even bigger disaster.
It would have been more of the PG era, probably more PG era.
It would have been G era. That's the problem.
Probably.
So I'm glad Disney and the Saudis didn't buy it. I'm glad.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense to pair it with UFC and put it under this new company that they're merging the two together. But what you touched on is the pay-per-view model. Now, for those that don't know, who were accustomed to purchasing pay-per-views back in the day for $50 a month, a pop every month, when the WWE Network launched, for $5-6 a month, you got to watch all the pay-per-views for $6 a month. That was
actually for free. I was cycling my emails for
God
knows how long, so I can get all the pay-per-views for free until the network kind of went kaput. But
yeah, and with the network tanking, and then they moved and merged with Peacock instead. It wasn't a bit like it wasn't nearly as user friendly, and Peacock's just not. But you were still getting a great bargain if you were strictly watching the pay-per-views, or if you had to watch the pay-per-views because you were that diehard of a fan of the product. Now, you're right. Looking at the UFC model, when UFC merged with ESPN Plus, you have to pay a subscription price for ESPN Plus to have the opportunity to purchase the pay-per-view. So you're paying even more for those pay-per-views.
Right.
Will WWE follow the same guidelines? Now, I believe Nick Khan's gone on the record as saying we're not opposed to going back to a pay-per-view format. So what I'm envisioning with this merger and the direction that they're going to go, it's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be right away. But what's going to eventually happen, and I think it makes most sense, you're going to go back to seeing a Big Five or Big Four format. Your WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, maybe King of the Ring, Royal Rumble. You'll see 4 or 5 big shows a year that you'll have to pay your full price.
I think it's going to be the 4 tentpole shows, and then the Saudi show will probably be the Big 5s.
I think you're still going to see a show every month, but those will probably still be on your Peacock or wherever the actual network ends up being. Yeah, and I don't know that it's going to end up being Peacock long term. I'm guessing that the Endeavor deal is probably going to mean they're going to try to launch something similar, something new, maybe merge something. But I think you're still going to see a free premium live event on whatever network subscription you have to watch these events. But I think you're eventually going to have to go back to paying full price for a big 4 or 5 pay-per-views.
I think you're right. I think they probably just move everything over to ESPN Plus and then just have you subscribe with them. And then hey, if you want to watch SummerSlam, you have to pay like $30, $40. But if you're having to watch like Money in the Bank, it might be free. I don't know.
It probably should be. Now, Bandit, now he's got one comment here, which might be the comment of the night. But Bandit, are you talking about the weekly shows or special events? We're talking about the big time events like WrestleMania, SummerSlam. The weekly stuff will still be on its standard showings. But yeah, this is just now. Bandit asks, was WWE bleeding cash to where they were? To me, I think this is more Vince on the way out wants to say, I sold my company for $9 billion. Fuck you, UFC, for only $5 billion.
They sold to themselves. They didn't just sell the UFC. They sold to themselves because they got part of that stock too. Vince made out like a fucking bandit, dude. Like seriously,
and he still gets to run the whole thing.
So he still gets to run the whole company.
Give that to everybody who tried to kick him out. Like,
he's going nowhere too because UFC has a track record. I mean, look at freaking what happened to Dana White. Like he punched his wife, and he has video evidence of that, and he's still head over the UFC and hasn't announced it.
I figured he'd be canceled by now. To be honest,
And technically speaking, Vince McMahon is a higher ranking employee under this new umbrella than Dana White.
He outranks Dana White.
So Vince McMahon's fucking going nowhere. honestly,
No.
until he dies, probably.
No,
or,
they
So
were
or
basically,
not forced
he
to
made
sell
sure,
by any means.
like a lot of guys don't know this, but in corporate world, it's all about measuring each other's corporate structures. And Vince McMahon, when he unzips his file, he made sure that his corporate structure was bigger than Dana White's corporate structure. And
That's what
so,
it
like,
came down to.
it
100%.
literally came down to that. Now, I have to say,
Vince McMahon wanted to make sure that his legacy wasn't retiring after a scandal, and he'd been looking at the idea of selling the company long before this. In fact, Nick Khan was specifically hired to get WWE into a position that they could do just that for the most money imaginable, because that's what Vince wanted his legacy to be long before the scandals. And once this deal became a thing, there was really no turning back. So really, it wasn't a forced situation.
Yeah, this is a win-win for the WWE and a win-win for Vince. Like, I don't disagree with any of y'all saying that this is a really good deal for them. This is. It's just I'm kind of putting it out there that, hey, you need to be on the lookout for these things, because these things are going to be like very not great for the wrestlers and not great for the universe as a whole. But hey, yeah, this is probably the best place that WWE could land, the best deal that Vince could get. He made out like a bandit. Applaud to him. This guy has probably the biggest dick in the room, and like
mhm.
he pulled it out, set it on the table, and they're like, "Wow, that's amazing dick." Like, seriously.
I mean,
So
like, as much as I'd say you're not wrong with a single thing you said there, and it's one of those. It's hard. It would be hard for him not to think, hey, no matter what everybody said, they were wrong. I was right. Now I got to give Bandit credit here. This might be the comment of the night. Disney would have replaced the Undertaker with Dylan Mulvaney. Well done, Bandit. Well done.
They probably replace Stone Cold with Chris Pratt because he's so cool, you know.
Oh God. Who would Seth Rogen take over? But Disney owns ESPN.
Seth Rogen would take over Matt Riddle.
Ooh, Jesus Christ. You're muted, Tony. Your beautiful voice is not coming through.
So Bandit says, but Disney owns ESPN. So this is where it gets really confusing, because you look at the networks, the streaming platforms, the TV channels, the parent companies. Now, yeah, Disney does own ESPN, and ESPN has the rights to the UFC events and the pay-per-views. So this merger is going to eventually lead to a bunch of restructuring. You're going to, like I said, I think you're going to eventually see a streaming service that broadcasts WWE, broadcasts UFC, broadcasts
Oh, yeah.
whatever shitty slap fight thing Dana White's doing these, but they're going to find a bunch of programming to put on a new streaming service. I have a feeling that that's probably where they're going to head. And I think that'd be the best thing for both UFC and WWE, because frankly, Peacock is a nightmare to navigate. It's just a disaster to try to find anything. The ad service is terrible. I've not been a fan of it since.
Yeah, I haven't been a fan of it either.
The network wasn't great, but boy, did I miss the network once
Yeah.
they moved over to Peacock.
I was
God,
about to
did I
say,
miss the
after
network.
the first WrestleMania, where it was on the cock, me and Tony were like, boy, howdy, did we, like, literally when it came
Really
to the
took it for
WWE,
granted.
it was like, don't know what
It's
you got
it's worse
till it's
when
gone.
it's worse when I'm trying to introduce like new people to wrestling, or
Yeah.
introduce like relapsed people to wrestling, and I'm like, hey, let's watch Hogan versus The Rock on WrestleMania, and I have to like sit there and fast forward through pretty much the entire Mania to find the match of the Hogan versus The Rock or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't just skip through it like
It
they
does
had
take
in
people out of
on the
the.
universe.
It does kind of take people out of the.
I tried doing that just the other day, and it's impossible. You have to sit through ads. You have to sit through ads. You have to sit through ads because you fast forward, and as soon as you hit play, it goes back to another ad. It's a disaster. I'm not a fan of Peacock, and this is me hoping. I hope that they move to their own streaming service. I don't think you're going to see. Honestly, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the Fox deal ends and they have to find a new home for SmackDown. And it could be an ESPN type deal. This could all happen. I mean, it could change.
I think Raw and NXT are going to probably stay where they are at USA because they have a relationship with them.
Yeah,
so
USA
I think
is not going to lose them.
I don't think they're going to go anywhere. I think probably honestly SmackDown might wind up on ESPN or like on one of the.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm thinking. And then like when the NBC Universal contract for Peacock and the streaming contract for ESPN ends, I agree with you. I think Endeavor is just going to make a known like the Endeavor Network.
Mm-hmm.
It's where it's like UFC and WWE 24/7, 365, something like that.
I gotta say, what's the sweetest thing about this is, as a wrestling fan, for decades, ESPN has done nothing but shit talk pro wrestling. And there was executives says we will never have professional wrestling on our television. And guess what? Vinnie Mac, just like he did with Georgia Championship Wrestling all those years ago, got Vince McMahon's wrestling on WCW on Billionaire Ted's network. Vince McMahon does it again. He's getting his product on ESPN, whether they like it or not. I mean, how could this guy not think that he's right at everything he does at this point?
Pretty much.
I mean, they could just hold ESPN hostage and like, hey, if you want to keep our UFC contract up, you have to like put a WWE show on your network and run our live events, the WWE live events on your network. Like, yeah,
and ESPN just has to take it. They just have to fucking take it. And so, to me, as a wrestling fan who, growing up, I'll be honest, like my older brother would always give me a hard time about, that bullshit wrestling. That's not real. It's not even on ESPN.
It's fake, right?
Guess what?
Stuff like that.
Guess what? Guess what's on ESPN now? It's one of those like, yep. So this is one of those like just delicious little victory for all the wrestling fans out there, where it's like we were always told, hey, it ain't legit because it's not on ESPN. Well, guess who's dictating ESPN programming now, folks? Now,
Steven had a comment here I wanted to go back to. Steven says, if the creativity suffers and the product of WWE suffers even more, what do the capitalist motives actually matter on the part of Vince? It doesn't. And that's one of the big things that you've got to understand with this deal.
Now, I got to pause this for a little bit. Dalton, this is an amazing story. Like, unfortunately, what's going to happen is you're going to have to sit down with us, or you're going to have to just look over the female roster on WWE. Now, it's the SmackDown roster, so you can kind of slim it down from there. But you're saying they're really ripped. Oh, God. Yeah, that's like 80 to 90% of the female roster. I mean, these women are in some of the best shape of anybody in God's creation. And yeah, they work hard and they play hard. And you got to remember, it's kind of a weird, insane schedule that wrestlers keep. And this is something you got to see just a little bit of it. It's the fact that they have to do all this traveling. They wake up in a hotel room, get all their stuff, get onto a plane, get to a city, and then when they get to this city, they unpack into a hotel, they get to a cab, get to an arena, get to do what they love more than anything for about 30 minutes. Get out of the ring, get to another cab, go to a hotel, maybe that night, grab your bags, go to the airport, keep on going. So like that bar is like the only like chill out time they had all night. They both had brought colored hair. Again, that's not slimming it down. Maybe that might be Shotzi Blackheart, but I don't know. Bright hair. Okay. Again, unfortunately, like if Tony was here with me, we'd be like, shit, that is not slimming it down at all. They all got like crazy, like one Becky Lynch, was it? Did she have like kind of orangish hair? I don't know if she was at SmackDown last night. Or at Friday. I had my daughter with me. I was thinking about going to SmackDown, but we ended up coming home and having movie night. So you know what? It's worth it. But I told her next time WWE's in Lincoln, we're going. And she's a little skeptical because I probably like it a little more than she does. Let's be frank. But Dalton goes, I'll look at the roster. To help slim it down, it would just be the SmackDown women's roster. That'll kind of help you at least eliminate like 100 people because they've got Raw, SmackDown, NXT. So yeah, they got a lot of folks on the roster there. Let me take a little drink there. But you got to see a very rare part of it, Dalton. Like us fans never get to see that. Hey, the freak, how we doing, sir? Yeah, Dalton, you got to see a rare part of when the wrestlers get to chill out, because like all the legendary stories of Andre the Giant were after the match when he'd go to the bar. Now, Dalton, you would love and hate this. Women don't mind looking at fit men, LOL. Now, actually, funny enough, if you look at footage from the 1970s, about 70% of the crowd at any given wrestling show was women. Because yeah, that was the whole fucking point, the freak. Like I remember I was telling my mom this, and she was like, yeah, I never watched wrestling. I thought that was the whole point, was that women could just ogle scantily clad, muscle bound men. That was the whole point of wrestling. And suddenly, I don't know when or how, but it suddenly became a bunch of nerdy dudes like me. They're like, oh, I don't know about that arm drag. I'm taking points off for that move. So there's been a very strange shift in the audience in professional wrestling. But yeah, it could definitely happen again, where the audience was 70% female. And that was how you had packed arenas, because, well, girls like, I want to go see the wrestling show. The guy's like, hey, I'll buy you a ticket and I'll come with you. Do you see? Like it became a real easy thing to do. Bandit, I'm thinking Rondo was a test to see if it would work prior to the sale. Well, now what's funny is, and I know I'm absolutely correct on this, you're going to see a kind of weird parody that's going to work out one way and not the other in terms of pay scale. You're going to see the pay of the UFC fighters crawl up a little bit, and you're going to see the pay of the top guys in WWE go down significantly. Brock cannot go and say, hey, you need to give me some more money. I'll just go fight for the UFC if you don't pay me, WWE. Well, guess what? Now it's all the same guy. Dalton, they mostly came on in huge buses the night before, and 75% of them left right after their performance to drive to the next. Yep. That's life. A lot of them shower at the arena shower, and they live out of a suitcase. And they're like literally, like Jake the Snake Roberts talked about how, like during his peak, he was obligated to wrestle for Vince McMahon 320 days a year. And so that wears on you a bit. And so you got to see a fascinating part where a couple of them got to chill out, and that, like, literally, Dalton, like when, most folks, they get to sit down, think about their life with their peace pipe, and, make it to their own bed at the end of the night. You have no idea, like, to a wrestler, that is the biggest luxury, getting to sleep in your own bed. Like that's unbelievable. Do you see an exodus to AEW? Here's the thing. Tony also knows that the paydays are creeping down, and so he don't need to pay big paydays neither. So this is going to be a net negative for paydays for the wrestling industry. This is going to be a net positive for overall paydays for UFC and thusly the general mixed martial arts industry. So you're going to see that happen, but for the wrestlers, it's not as good a news as you'd like to think it is. Like now for the lower end guys, you're not going to see anything, but like the bigger guys, like your Brocks, your Romans and that such, like the only guys that are going to be able to command the Brinks truck money is like if Stone Cold wants another match, or if The Rock wants another match, or somebody that was over 15 years ago or 20 years ago wants a match, then they could. But yeah, AEW, I don't think, like, yeah, if a couple of big names come over, they could take it, but I don't think they need them. I really don't. So this is an interesting conundrum that all the talent find themselves in. But yeah, I don't think, like, I mean, obviously, if some of the big guys come, like, obviously, if Seth Rollins gets his walking papers, guess what? AEW is going to take him. But I don't see Seth Rollins getting his walking papers. You know what I mean? Like, so Drew McIntyre, even, I don't see him going to AEW. I see him going back to Impact, honestly. I think him going to Impact would be the best thing to happen to Impact in fucking half a decade. Honestly, like, because I've never been like blown away by Drew McIntyre after 2021. 2020, I thought we were onto something here, but then, well, COVID swept the leg on that. And like, Tony's always like, Drew needs to make up for his WrestleMania moment, and I think a lot of people just like kind of have the whole COVID bad taste in their mouth and they just kind of want to forget it and put it all behind it. So really, Drew needs to go away for about a year or two, learn a new hold, as they say, and then come back fresher and better than ever. And then I think that could be a guy who could potentially defeat the tribal chief Roman Reigns in 3 or 4 years. Actually, it'll be a little over 4 years when Roman Sammartino is finally defeated. I think, yeah, that's obvious. That's obvious. But an exodus to AEW, not as much, because Tony don't have to pay. Oh God. Bandit Roman is going to swap to spoil your Sammartino. No. Roman will be the tribal chief and he will defeat Bruno Sammartino's reign of 4,000 days as main event champion. And somebody did the math. All he has to do, it's very achievable, is hold on to the belt until the Raw after Backlash 2028. All he's got to do, Bandit. Pretty easy, right? I know. Like, for anybody else, it'd be insurmountable, but for our tribal chief, but a fleeting thing. Sir. So yeah, I've got no problems. Tony hates every second of the
Vince coming back out of retirement a mere 6 months after he stepped down.
But
to make this deal happen. And it probably wouldn't have happened without Vince. But Vince didn't come back just to make the deal happen. Vince came back because he never wanted to go anywhere in the first place. And the deal that Vince made, as we said, put himself in a very lucrative position to where he basically can't be fired. It would take a pretty big act to happen for that to go down. So,
I mean, if the $14 million of company money to pay for his varying sex scandals didn't take him down, I don't know what the fuck he could do at this point.
But for the last 6 months, creative has gotten better and productivity has gone up. And I mean, the morale in the locker room has gone up because of what Triple H has done with creative, being in charge of that. And now that Vince is back, morale has tanked. People are just not as excited about the product backstage. They're very concerned about the direction of the company because now it's pretty clear Vince isn't going to go anywhere. Not on his own terms, not on anybody's terms. He's going to be there for the long haul. So what once looked bright, all that Triple H did can very, very easily be undone. That's the concern here. So where we go from here, that creativity wise, I don't know. That's anybody's guess, but it is a real concern amongst everybody in the company, especially the talent.
They've already also like have established like a hiring freeze and a move up freeze, so nobody's moving up anytime soon. Nobody's being brought in. So like,
they're like both sides are going to be cleaning house very soon, and to make a new, more agile business model, which basically they're going to keep most of WWE's production side, UFC's production people. Start brushing up your resumes. That would be my best advice, because could you imagine a WWE production on a UFC event?
Yeah.
I mean, it's next level. Steven, if they could keep the same networks, but they're going to gaining any new viewership based on new and interesting creative product, what does it matter? Well, Steven, that's been a problem with pro wrestling for years, is that they haven't been making new marks. They're just fleecing the same. Okay, I have to give a moment to this because I was, taking care of some stuff around the home, but I saw this comment and I had to come back to camera. Bandit says 2028, Biden has a better chance of making it to 2028. Bandit, ye who hath little faith in your tribal chief. I'm ashamed of you, sir. I'm ashamed. No, Roman, the tribal chief, will make it that way. Like, he's going to be going to Hollywood. He's going to have the belt when they give him a nice shiny new one over his shoulder, talking about how the tribal chief can't be beat. And when Drew comes back in 3 years, he could be the guy to take the belt off him. I like it. Let Drew spend a couple of years in Impact. Let him win the AEW title on some weird random caprice Tony Khan had fallen his head one weekend. Let him do some things and see where it goes from there. But yes, Bandit with one of the better comments of the night. You son of a biscuit. That's a pretty good one. I got to give it to you. Hey, marks for more money.
And not even in a good way.
No, it's not building new. This is, and so either this is Vince's hope to build a new market share, or he says, fuck it, we've peaked and I'm selling out while we got the chance now. And yet, so if something happens to the Don McMahon 2024,
Oh God, that would be literally the only thing left for Vince to try. That's it, because he sold his company and he's still in charge of it. What else does he have left to do?
Knowing Vince, he would recommend, well, what if I'm the presidential candidate and you're the VP, Don?
Yeah.
He would recommend it.
Yeah.
And yes, I have seen the next two comments and I've been prepared.
But hang on. No, it's only a single because Stephen already gave you his drink for the hour one.
Oh, son of a bitch. I got a double pour.
Well, hang on. I'll use mine.
Oh, you fucking ass.
You can keep it as a double. But Stephen, if you want to make it a triple, I'm just saying, if you can't wait for the second hour to hit,
hey, Tony,
there is a website, buymeacoffee.com/Tony G. And if you tip me on there, that will then allow for an extra drink for Phil K.O.E. tonight. And those of you not using the Facebook paid subscription can use buymeacoffee.com/Tony G to make this happen, folks. But Phil, why don't you go ahead and have that double?
Well, I'm gonna give Steven 45 seconds. Okay, 45 seconds.
Wow.
To get on to Buy Me Coffee. See if he wants to make it a triple.
45 seconds.
I know. But oh, God damn it! Now I'm just like, okay, I need to talk about this wrestling thing, but now I'm just dreading all this gin. So it's like. That's what she said. Give me 45 seconds. Like just 45 seconds. Yes. It's kind of like the critic. Yes. And when I betted her that she enjoyed that amazing 90 seconds of power. Okay.
I'm looking. I'm going to check just to see if anybody else has contributed.
Now,
while we're waiting on that, go ahead.
Here's the bigger question, and this is the one that's on everybody's mind. How long till they start getting just slightly more cooperative in mixed martial arts in order to build a star? Because Vince McMahon has always said the biggest thing, the reason they didn't buy the UFC is because you cannot build a star unless you can predetermine the outcome.
That's right. And
so how long until we get that? Okay, folks, we're closing in on the 45-second mark here. Endeavor buys WWE and merges with UFC. Now, then the bigger question is, when do we get our first mixed martial arts ladder match?
When do we get our first mixed martial arts Money in the Bank? Money in the Bank.
God, yeah, that's right.
They already do like 6-man team or 3-man team MMA bouts over in like Russia.
Yeah.
Three people fight 3 other people where it's a flurry, like, and the first person that goes down, then it's that person moves over and it's a 2-on-1. And as soon as it's a 2-on-1, they knock that person out, and then it becomes a 3-on-1 and it's over. So basic, it's insane. But it's entertaining.
It's also the best demonstration of the idea of a chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
Right.
A team's only as good as its weakest member.
And for transitioning individuals, though, like for transitioning parties that want to do MMA, like go from MMA to wrestling and go from.
Okay, now I got to give myself credit. When you said bright hair, I said Shotzi Blackheart, and turns out that one was correct. And Zelina Vega. Okay, yeah, she's absolutely beautiful. So, I mean, if you met her, you'd remember. So, all right, well done, Dalton. Well done. you met two pretty famous girls in the world of wrestling. I mean, I know like they need to be in an arena full of wrestling fans in order to be a famous person, but it's kind of like an MMA fighter. Chael Sonnen would always say, like, I need to be at an arena where a fight's happening in order to be a famous person, because our internet era is just so divided now. But yeah, Zelina Vega actually walked away from WWE for a little while to do OnlyFans and that kind of stuff, and she's making good money. I mean, like not as good as some of the other girls, but hey, well done, Carter. Well done, sir. And we coin Tanya.
From pro wrestling to MMA, I think that's going to be really, really easy.
Bobby Lashley.
And yeah, like Lashley, or if like Riddle wants to go back to UFC for a bit, or if like Brock Lesnar wants to go back to UFC for a bit, or let's say Conor McGregor wants to come over and be
exactly
for a bit.
Well, it's a great, because what WWE is a promotional mechanism,
mm-hmm.
and now that's combined, the thing is, like, if you're a pro wrestler that feels that you're just not getting your fair shake and that you're not getting your just recommendations or dues, you could say, you know what, fuck it, glove me up, put me in an MMA cage, let me show the world that I'm a legit badass and can beat ass, maybe it'll give me some cred. And then when you get like the Conor McGregors of the world, when you get the Colby Covingtons of the world who come up, who are actual characters, the Chael Sonnens of the world, who can stick on the mic, but maybe they might get the fuck kicked out of them if they're fighting one of the top 3 guys nowadays. Might be good to put them on the stick for the promotional device it is WWE. So yeah, you're gonna have a good little bit of crossover there. But like I said, I think
The
you're gonna
men
see
were a bit arrogant.
on the no, not in pro wrestling. I don't know what to say to you, sir. Really, it's the idea of these guys like, you know what? We don't even sell for each other backstage. I'm not selling for this jabroni who's not even one of us. So yeah, like all the men, they all think they need to be acting like they're the biggest, toughest thing in the room. And depending on who you ran into, they might have been. But yeah, it's oh, hang on one moment here. Hey, folks, we've made it. We got people who are starting to spam us. Isn't that awesome? But so yes, folks, and Dalton, it's just the idea that they're not going to sell to you. It's a classic thing of pro wrestling, is pro wrestlers always act like they're the toughest guy in the room. It's yeah, there's nothing you're ever going to be able to do about that one, I'm afraid. Oh Lord. Now we continue on. MMA side, they're going to be happy because paydays are going to creep up just a little bit. On the WWE side, it's going to be blue Mondays because the money's going down, down, down.
I mean, I would love to see characters like McGregor and Masvidal like in WWE. Like, honestly, I think like Masvidal would do pretty well as a character. McGregor definitely would do pretty well as a character. I don't know. So.
Well, now Ronda Rousey's going back to the UFC. Now, is that going to be the UFC or the UFC slightly bit of cooperation division? So, and that line's going to be, well, Tony, I take it there's been no donation.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to figure some other stuff out too. But yeah, go ahead and take your double, Phil.
Oh, God damn it. Mm-hmm. All right, folks. It's with chagrin that I take this shot of motherfucking gin. Shit. Oopsie daisies. That's oh, that took 3 gulps. That took some effort. Tony, you're an ass. Fuck you, by the way.
Appreciate that.
My audience loves me. My audience loves me. What can I say?
I loved watching the torture.
So I'm curious, T. Going forward, what do you think? Like, this is for both of you. What do you think happens to WrestleMania going forward? What do you think happens to this product that we've dedicated so much of our time, our effort, and our fandom to? Corporate America has now fully taken it over. Vince McMahon, despite the fact that he despised the carny attitude, still very much understood it. And he still very much understood the product that he was in. And so now the last vestige of the original point that wrestling was even created for, who understood it, has sold out. And corporate America now fully owns wrestling. So where do you think that goes, gents?
It get. I think it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Yeah. Every single it's going to be eventually like every single match is going to be brought to you by something, and it's going to have like a special like commercial gimmick to it.
Please don't.
Come on, dude.
The cinnamon toast crunch.
The cinnamon toast crunch Undertaker match. You know, the cinnamon toast crunch Undertaker match. The Mountain Dew Dark this match. This match brought to you by Intuit TurboTax.
The KFC commercial.
Yeah, the KFC double down ladder match. You know,
there was a Pizza Hut Battle Royal one time where Montez Ford basically just shoved pizza into the camera for 10 minutes. And it's not like WWE is a stranger, like whoring themselves out, selling prime real estate on the screen to advertising. Now, was it WrestleMania brought to you by Snickers? More like Snickers brought to you by WrestleMania one year, for God's sake. So,
it was, welcome to the Snickers show that will occasionally have some wrestlers on it.
Unfortunately, Vince looks at his company the same way a NASCAR car owner looks at the car and goes, God, we could just billboard that fucker up. Yeah, we could put some CVS over here, some Walmart over there, some Tito's vodka right about there, some Duck Dynasty calls on the tailgate. Yeah,
I still see some paint on the hood.
Yeah, no, can't have any of that. We got to put a sticker on there.
Can't have any of that shit. Let's put a Bud Light sticker on there.
Well, they might want to do that. I think
don't give many ideas.
Hey, it's going on the rainbow card now or whatever.
Oh God Almighty! Which, like I was saying, like with all the topics we're touching on tonight, pro wrestling, Bud Light. I mean, if we could just find a way to segue in NASCAR and Kraft macaroni and cheese, I think we got the bingo card for the Midwest, actually. But now, Tony, I think we're getting to that point on this topic where we asked a little bit about what you think it's going forward, but this is a way to even get deeper into this. On this show, Hazard Analysis, we ask at the end of every topic, what do you think the hazard is going forward for what we're discussing? And then your final closing analysis. So, Mr. Mover himself, I'm sure Zig is short for Ziganiel, Zigaculous, Mr. Mover himself. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. What do you believe is the hazard with this particular sale, and what is your closing analysis on this topic, sir?
Can corporate greed be a hazard?
Oh, yes. I was about to say that's part of it.
Yeah, so I think corporate greed is going to be the hazard in all this, simply because like this deal, honestly, dude, this deal looks fishy as fuck on Vince's side. Like he made out like a fucking bandit. So my closing argument is this deal is the best that WWE could probably get out of anything. I'm super thrilled that they got this deal. I think this is probably like I said, a win-win for them. I'm just like kind of really skeptical on the future of the WWE product, and I don't really want it to go down the hill that I think I'm seeing it going down, because I think it's going to be bad for the product overall. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I guess there's no hope for the wrestlers getting full-time employment contracts or employment benefits at all now, because that's not going to happen anymore. That was like the one huge benefit that I thought was like, hey, Disney, if they're Disney, they could be like full-time Disney employees and actually get fucking benefits and medical stuff and whatever. That was like the only upside for Disney taking over. But hey, we'll see. My future predictions are that it's probably going to be worse than it is right now. And we're probably going to have to pay a lot more money to watch wrestling. But I hope that if it gets worth it. I don't think so. I think it's going to be super highly commercialized now. Now that Endeavor's here, and they're going to try to milk WWE live events for all the money they can. And yeah, so that's my closing arguments.
Tony,
corporate greed.
You've been watching WWE since you were 5. Okay. When I watch pay-per-views with Tony will just say, just randomly, and Randy Orton's about to jump out with an RKO. And Randy Orton has nothing to do with this fucking match. He's been gone for months. There's no reason that anyone should have, but Tony's like, nope, they got the camera set up just right. Randy Orton's about to jump out with an RKO. So Tony could probably not only be a writer, but he could also be a production understudy under Kevin Dunn if he actually wanted to. So you've been, like, when I was a kid, I grew up watching Georgia style wrestling. I was in WCW. My grandparents and parents had Turner syndication on their TVs. So that was.
So I was a WCW kid too. I was a WCW kid just like you.
You had Turner syndication on your parents' TV. Yep, that's like, it's really weird when you listen to the guys talk about who had Turner syndication, who was on USA Network and stuff. Like, that was really the big thing that determined what kind of fandom you were going to be. Were you on Turner syndication or not? And like, that was a big deal. But so Tony, something that you've dedicated a lot of time to is now going to be shifting for the first time in our lifetime out of McMahon hands. What do you think is the hazard, and what is your closing analysis
here? I think the hazard is just that we knew this going in, that Vince was never really ready to step down, but he did it because he felt like he had to. And once he saw that the door was open for him to come back, he took that opportunity and ran with it. So the hazard is that the company is going to implode from within, because Vince McMahon is not the type of person that's ever going to admit that he's wrong. Now, granted, the deal he made, it was amazing. It was the perfect deal. It was perfect for Vince. It was perfect for WWE. It was perfect for you. Like, it was perfect for everybody, except the brand's longevity, because nobody is excited about it with him at the helm right now. We got a taste of Triple H, what he could do with the company with all control. And we got a taste. I say a taste because I don't think he went all the way to the deep end with it, because he knew in the back of his mind, I don't think Vince is gone either. And we saw it. So the hazard is that with Vince still very much in charge, the company's going to implode and the deal might all be for naught. But that's not going to hurt Vince McMahon at all, because he made the deal. So now his legacy is intact. It doesn't matter what happens to the WWE. And I think that's the big hazard. My analysis is, it's probably going to be more expensive to watch WWE moving forward here in the long run. And I think that is probably going to end up hurting viewers, because it's not like in the last 10 years they've done anything to create new fan base. They've just been, like you said, kind of holding on to the ones that they've had. So wrestling can't really create new stars right now with the way that the product is moving. So I don't see it being able to hold what they have unless something changes, and that something is Vince McMahon. And my analysis is it's not going to change, not for several more years.
Well said, T. Now, for me, the hazard is something that we all kind of know, but it's remained unspoken. The hazard is severing that ever important and so delicate, it's so strong, but at the same time, so delicate relationship between the fan and the wrestlers that are in the ring. That it seems like it's strong, but it can also be severed very easily. Think of like when the Von Erichs turned heel in WCCW, everyone went, well, fuck this whole thing. Jesus Christ. And they never recovered their business there.
The finger poking him.
A great example. And like, even to bring it out into wider pop culture, look at how the new Star Wars movies were so ill received by that just iron strong fandom of the Star Wars folks. And there was something severed from that point. Like even the guy, Mark Hamill said, yeah, I don't really like this Luke Skywalker. This Luke Skywalker sucks. And so there was a big disconnect between what the corporate board wanted and what the fandom actually desired. And we're seeing that all over the place on Amazon, Netflix. We're seeing that everywhere, where the fandom is voting things down, but the corporate board wants it up. And so that's one of the biggest hazards. The other big hazard out of this is the very big potential for mixed martial arts to become a worked endeavor in the next few years. I'll be honest with you. There's something that a lot of people don't know about, and I kind of got privy to in my time in mixed martial arts and the best example of this is Randy Couture versus Gabriel Gonzaga. It's the best example of this, where a wrestler or a fighter knows that they're just not going to make it. They know they're outmatched, and they just kind of give when they're getting pounded on, they'll just kind of give the ref a look, and the ref knows, okay, it's done. It's over. It's over. Yeah. And people are going to think that is going to become a lot more prominent, and then it's going to become a bit more I wonder if the potential is they're just straight up going to say, okay, fighter B, you're taking the dive, fighter A, you're taking it. Or are they just going to do, we haven't really, fighter A hasn't had a legitimate drug test in 2 years. And there's a lot of different ways that you can get around that and really work. That's what Japan, Pride FC, they did a lot, allegedly, winky face. But no, there's people who actually said that some gyms just didn't really see a drug test all that much.
Why would Pride need to do drug tests when they were already running scripted fights?
Well, no, here's the thing is it wasn't it was only half scripted in some of them where just fighter B was told you're taking a dive. Fighter A never knew. They thought they just beat the fuck out of somebody. And so that's one of those where that gets a little fuzzy because fighter A's never got fuck you, I wasn't in a scripted fight, I'm just that much of a badass. And then fighter B, is he just having sour grapes because he got the fuck kicked out of him? That's a legitimate thing that we'll never be able to fully know, but it was pretty well stated that some gyms didn't see nearly the same drug scrutiny as others, and that's one way of doing it. And so that's the other hazard going forward is because me, I love pro wrestling, but I also love the integrity of mixed martial arts. And the times that those two get a little too close together, I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't like Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle in the cage at TNA. Tony showed me that match when I was deep into getting an MMA. I didn't like it because I felt like it was pro wrestling trying to be MMA. And these two things are two very different. It's like stage trying to be a movie or a movie trying to be a play. It's no, these are two very different things that I enjoy for two very different reasons. And so that's the hazard going forward is it all becomes one big clusterfuck circus. The analysis, I have to agree with you guys. Get ready to pay $50 for WrestleMania again, folks. But if you want to see the watch-alongs to WrestleMania, just come right here to Hazard Analysis on YouTube, Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast on YouTube and Spotify, and Big Buckin' Empire on YouTube and Facebook for our WrestleMania watch-alongs. We will make the investment so you don't have to, folks. You just come here and subscribe and listen to our watch-along, kind of like your grandpa used to listen, or great-grandpa used to listen to baseball games out of the radio back in the day.
Yeah, so, do y'all watch AEW shows?
Oh actually, yes. We did our first watch along for AEW Revolution with the Iron Man main event.
Yeah.
That was a spectacular time. That was just that was what kind of inspired me. Tony, I think we need to do more watch alongs because that was some of the most fun I've had.
The Iron Man match is probably one of the best matches I've seen in the AEW pay per view in a long time.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite match of the year right now.
I was about to say, do you have a better nominee for match of the year other than that at the moment? I know we're still fresh in the year, or at least the halfway point.
I would probably do the triple threat at Mania, the Intercontinental triple threat match at Mania with Gunther and Sheamus and McIntyre. But I don't know. I think that's probably the match of the year, and I don't think there's really anything close to it right now.
Now, I did forget one thing, though. Now, I would say on Mania, there was one match that was better. And it is my closing piece of analysis here is, Tony, you need to analyze and acknowledge your tribal chief of the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. And it was when Roman Reigns defeated Cody Rhodes. That was easily the match of WrestleMania for me. It cinched my reign as the tribal chief of the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. And it ended that no good Champ Chicken's 3 WrestleMania running streak on the RWP. And so I know that was a good triple threat, but the tribal chief being acknowledged as Roman Sammartino for me was the match of WrestleMania, but it still didn't top the Iron Man.
I mean, they're eventually going to put the belt on Cody. Like, that's the biggest kind of recruiting factor WWE has over AEW. It's like, hey, come to WWE. We'll put the belt on you. You know, we'll put the championship belt on you if you come to.
Well,
WWE.
they didn't.
I know, but
nope. And they will put the belt on Cody the Raw after Backlash 2028 after Roman has defeated Bruno Sammartino's record.
It's not gonna happen.
Tony, acknowledge your tribal chief, Bruno or Roman Sammartino.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen at the Saudi show. I almost guarantee it's going to happen at the Saudi show.
I don't think they can do it there. There's no way.
It's got to be Mania or nothing. And so it'll be next year will be the soonest opportunity to get the belt off of him. And even
I don't
then,
even like the idea.
The tribal chief will put the Rock down.
I don't even like the idea of waiting another year for Cody versus Roman because then it's even more predictable.
The Saudi show is like 1,002 days on the dot of Roman's reign. So if they want to get him off after the 1,000 days, the Saudi show is probably the perfect place to do it.
Well, you see, the thing is, what they want to do is have the tribal chief go to Hollywood, be in the next Fast and Furious 27 or whatever the fuck we're on at this point, as WWE Undisputed Universal Champion, because they could put that in the movie taglines. Undisputed Universal Champion of the WWE, Joe Roman Reigns in Oahe in Fast and Furious 14. And so, yes.
He was already in the Fast and Furious movie.
I know, but he's now a part of Fast and Furious lore, so they can bring him back for more. And he's a bigger star now. And they can give him his own car and his own awful lines.
Okay. No, I don't see it at the Saudi show because I don't think what a slap in the face it would be to fucking the UK, as hot as they were for the McIntyre match. Like, everybody kind of expected that, like, holy shit, they could throw an audible here now. And then the Cody, we expected at Mania. No. If they do it at Saudi Arabia, I think that's just a big slap in the face. I don't think they'll do it there. I think at the if it's going to happen this year.
It could happen at SummerSlam.
Yeah, but it's fucking Bray Wyatt.
The Saudi shows where they fix their fuck ups. I will give Zig
even when Bray Wyatt's over as fuck, they still don't respect Bray Wyatt.
Now, I've been given 2 gin shots, T, by 2 no goods.
Yep, you sure did. There you go. Bandit,
Phil acknowledged the gin shot, and then there's one right after it.
And Tyler. Yep. And then now, Phil now thinks 14. Yeah, exactly. Is that Bud Light he's been drinking? And now, yes, the drinks do reset. So now, Steven, now you may give your drink again.
All right, I'm going to wait 30 seconds to see if Steven wants me to make it a triple.
Yes, the drinks do reset. We are in hour 2.
So, we got Zig saying that the title reign ends.
I think it's either Saudi show or SummerSlam.
It ain't gonna be this year.
But I don't know. Some people saying it's not gonna be this year either. But I doubt they're probably gonna, because Roman Reigns is not gonna be on every single pay-per-view. So I don't think they'll keep the title on him without.
The only way it's gonna end this year is if they can line up a premium live event in Madison Square Garden where Cody beats him for it in the MSG. That's the only way. Otherwise, it's probably going to go to Mania and Cody will get him there.
Okay.
No. Next year it'll be the Rocket Mania, and the tribal chief will just put him down as well. So, okay, we've given 30 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, give me full screen here, Tony. And this particular shot is a double shot in dedication to the 2 tribal chiefs, the tribal chief of WWE, Roman Reigns, and the tribal chief of the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast, Hazard Analysis, K.O.E Nation, and Big Bucket Empire, and Truth and Fiction Show, the Drew Carrier Podcasting, your tribal chief of all podcastery, Phil K.O.E. For you folks.
Fuck. All right.
Oh, that was more gin than I ever wanted to drink in this life.
All right, so on that note, and
Ziggy
folks,
zaggy, ziggy zaggy. Oi,
those
oi,
of you
oi.
again who are not participating in the Facebook subscriber because you don't want to pay Facebook, I totally get it. You can still participate. Here is the link. Cheers. Oh, I hate Bud Light.
Oh, Tony, that's the slowest I've ever seen you drink a beer. That, like, you must not.
This is
enjoy that.
disgusting.
Yeah,
No,
Bud
it's
Light's
funny.
Bud Light's fucking nasty, dude.
What's funny
Poison.
is
Oh,
my boomer
terrible.
parents, they watch the show once in a while. They're like, Phil, can I just give you an envelope with like $100 and you just give it to Chicken, and then we can just make you fuckers do things all
Yes.
the time? Like, yeah, you can. Yes, you can. Actually, so there is no depth to our shallowness.
No.
Come on now.
All right. So we have butchered this topic. We are in hour 2.
Oh, we
Shall-
beat this horse to death and then we ate it.
It was a little gamey, not gonna lie. So let's move
strange.
on to topic number 2, folks. This has been all over. It's kind of a big one. It's a big deal right now. Oh baby, Bud Light is Tyler. It's not good though, man. It's not good. You gotta move on. You gotta get something good.
Might I
If it's
recommend?
gotta be Anheuser-Busch, at least go Busch Light.
Might I recommend anything else?
Coors Light actually tastes decent. I mean, you know,
Anything but Bud Light. I just
Like
Yeah.
folks from Nebraska, all like my mom always used to tell me about Coors. Like, yeah, back in the 70s, like people would go to Colorado and bring Coors back, and that was like the big thing. And then Coors got better distribution deal, and that whole thing went out the door. But yeah, so folks in Nebraska, some folks a couple years older than me will remember smuggling in Coors in Nebraska. But
I live in Texas. We drink Shiner here, so that's pretty much what we drink.
Shiner
Shiner's really
on
good.
tap is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I believe, yes, Tony, you might have a certain brother G that is into that particular.
Yeah, I got a brother in DFW, and yeah, Shiner is a go-to. I'm a big fan.
Nice. So we have the Bud Light controversy, and boy, what a controversy it is, because everybody's talking about it. So let me ask you something, guys. Now, Tony, I know you don't drink Bud Light because it's piss water that they replace the barley with rice. I know that's why you're not really so big into it. But
Yeah, I used to drink Bud Light, but I can't anymore. It's just not good.
So the bigger question is, they've got a new spokesperson for Bud Light. Have you heard? Have you seen this? Have you heard of this?
I've heard of this.
Yes, it's something that everybody's talking about one way or another. We have Dylan Mulvaney that was on a couple of cans of Bud Light. They sent these cans to Dylan for a promotional shot. And then Dylan, like any good spokesman, said, hey, March Madness is coming up. I don't know what that is or what sport that's for, because, you know, who Google is such a hard thing to figure out. But go team for whatever sport that is. And people were shocked that Bud Light drinkers, who are generally sports lovers, might not have loved that ad all that much. But what Bud Light has figured out is the best way to get everybody to talk about you is to anger work the market. And the market got good and angry. They got worked. I mean, think of all the people like me. I was pissed off at the Fiend when it first started showing up. I thought it was awful, and I got anger worked.
Look, I play video games just as much as I watch wrestling, right?
Okay.
One thing, there's a video game that recently came out that was under a lot of scrutiny and a heavy amount of boycott pressure, and that was Hogwarts Legacy.
Yep.
One thing that Hogwarts Legacy has taught me, and one thing that a lot of stuff's taught me, boycotts don't work. Like,
kind of. Like, I mean, in our modern era, it's not quite the same, because actually, strangely enough, 2 days ago, I was on a panel, and we brought up both Bud Light and the Hogwarts Legacy game. And I had a person Like, let's be frank, this person was absolutely fucking insane. But this person said that people who don't buy Bud Light because Dylan Mulvaney was on a can are guilty of transgenocide, or at least enabling it in some way. And the same goes to anybody that played Hogwarts Legacy. Now, this insane person, it was Miss Vivian Wolf, later 14 minutes later, or 15 minutes later, said that J.K. Rowling is worse than R. Kelly. So it's like, keep in mind, this is a pretty crazy person out there. But it was still like, this is some of the rhetoric that you actually have to meet, is like people not buying a can of beer is now given this level of hysterical language. And so I think Bud Light kind of knew what they were doing when they started this, and they knew it was going to get this reaction. And this is the new way of corporate America, is trying to piss off their core base in the hopes of grabbing some new customers.
I think Lauren Southern mentioned something around the lines of what does Bud Light to do, or what does Anheuser-Busch to do, because they're reaching out to a new group of people that usually don't partake in their product. So she's like, yeah, people are going to boycott their product. People like the normal people that consume Bud Light or consume, that product are going to, or not going to drink the product anymore. But they're going to pick up a lot of other demographics starting probably purchasing their product and drinking their product simply because of Dylan Mulvaney and them sponsoring them. So
Now,
Bandit says, did y'all see Anheuser-Busch CEO gave a bullshit apology on Twitter a couple of hours ago? I haven't seen that yet. Yank, if you could pull up a link for that, I'd love to see that. And
Jamie, could you pull that up?
As I've got to yet again. God damn it. No.
Guys, that meme of me was so fire. Have another. Oh man. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, Tony.
Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's fucking terrible. Yeah, remember when we all freaked out about Uncle Ben's and Aunt Jemima, and they were so
the Land O'Lakes lady, the Land O'Lakes lady,
Land O'Lakes Indian, but no, this is totally different now, right, folks? Right?
Yeah.
This is my thing, and I just, Phil, we talked about this when it first dropped, and you were like, no, people are still going to buy this regardless, and you're right to an extent, but the people that want to drink Bud Light are probably always going to drink it, and they're just going to be upset about it. But I think it's the stigma now, because once a product becomes stigmatized, and it's already a bad product to begin with, this could be something that hurts it long term. In short term, it's hurt it, and we've seen it. Anheuser-Busch is down $5 billion in value amid this controversy. That's pretty big, regardless of the long term. It's not nothing. Long term, if they figure out a way to counteract it, they'll be fine. But it's not like they already have a strong product. They have a product that's gotten worse over time, and now it's got a stigma to it. Now, people looking at all the beer labels, they've all done pride flag cans or whatever. They've all advertised that way. Yeah, they did, and they have. And it's not about that. And it was never about that. And the people that are freaking out about people being homophobic or transphobic, it's not about that. We don't care. Nobody cares. If you want to show support to the LGBTQ plus community, that's fine. Nobody cares about that. It's more about the fact that this felt really, really fucking weird. This kind of came out of left field, and it feels like the same thing when they forcefully recast a character in a Disney movie, but they changed the skin tone for not really any good reason other than the fact that they feel obligated to. It's the being forced down our throats for no good reason other than doing it because you will accept this.
It's sort of the Velma effect.
Yes, it's exactly like Velma. Yes.
This is something that I pointed out, though, is like, you know what? And because, like, literally, I was told by Miss Vivian Wolf that anybody that does not buy this Bud Light, they are culpable in some way of trying to keep trans people out of public life in any way. First of all, that's mind reading. analysis. You can't ever really mind read and say why people don't. Second of all, there are like some people that just want to avoid controversy and don't want to be part of any controversies. And whether we like it or not, the trans issue is one of the most controversial issues of our era.
Mhm.
And so there's a lot of people that are just like, I don't want to get into no confrontation. That ain't my thing. And
Well,
they're just going to avoid it altogether. And
don't
so,
forget about the other part of this, though. I
oh
feel
boy.
like, let's bring this up. Can we zoom in on that a little bit?
I was
This
about
is
to say,
from the
you're going to have to read that one, old 2020 vision.
This is from the CEO of Anheuser-Busch. We've got a letter.
Oh, this will be heartfelt.
Our responsibility to America. As the CEO of a company founded in the founded in America's heartland more than 165 years ago, I am responsible for ensuring every consumer feels proud of the beer we brew. We're honored to be part of the fabric of this country. Anheuser-Busch employs more than 18,000 people, and our independent distributors employ an additional 47,000 valued colleagues. We have thousands of partners, millions of fans, and a proud history supporting our communities, military, first responders, sports fans, hardworking Americans everywhere. This is all just pandering so far. We never intended to be part of the discussion that divides people. We are in the business of bringing people together over
Bullshit.
beer. No, they're not.
I
But
mean,
whatever.
you were, wait, what was that? We never intend, read that again.
We never intended to be part of a discussion that divides people, period. Which
No,
could not be more
that's
of
a
a
lie.
bold-faced fucking lie. That's literally the whole point of it. They wanted controversy. They thought it would work in their favor, and thus
Controversy
far, it
creates
has not.
cash.
Thus far, it lost them cash.
Any
Short-term,
publicity is good publicity. Come on.
not in this case. My time serving this country taught me the importance of accountability and the values upon which America was founded: freedom and hard work and respect for one another. As CEO of Anheuser-Busch, I'm focused on building and protecting our remarkable history and heritage. I care deeply about this country, this company, our brands, and our partners. Spend much of my time traveling across America, listening to and learning from our customers, distributors, and others. Moving forward, I will continue to work tirelessly to bring great beers to consumers across our nation. So that's saying a lot without saying anything at all. That was
Yeah,
pandering finest, and that wasn't even an apology.
I mean, first off, your beer's not that great. All right, let's just hold off there.
it's like I always call that a BSNA, a bullshit non-apology.
I don't even.
It's-
It's not even about an apology. They don't. Bud Light does not need to apologize. Anheuser-Busch does not need to apologize. Here's the thing: if you wanted to do this and alienate part of your consumer base, which they knew would happen, fine, own it, go with it. Don't back down now. In fact, setting that letter out, honestly, is probably the worst thing that they could have done. What they needed to do was just fucking own it at this point. Because people probably would have respected them more if they would have just fucking owned it. Like, look, we're going to be all inclusive. We don't give a fuck what you think. You're going to drink our beer regardless. Like Phil, you were saying, you enjoy our product. This doesn't change the quality of the product in any way. Our spokesperson can be anybody we choose. They should have just fucking owned it. And I don't care. If they want Dylan Mulvaney to promote Bud Light, go ahead. I don't give a flying fuck. I wasn't drinking it anyway. And frankly, if this is what made people flock to the product, really, I just don't see that. Do you really think a bunch of people went, my God, this is amazing. I'm going to start drinking Bud Light now? That was never going to happen. So that part about we didn't mean to divide people, that's an obviously bullshit fucking lie. We knew that, but we know that's not true because the entire basis of this was to divide people, was to create controversy, and they've done that. So losing $5 billion in revenue, that's huge. But long term, if they would have just avoided it and pretended like none of this happened and went on from it, things probably would have gone back to normal. But now I really do think there's a chance, not a guarantee, but a chance for a stigma to stay with this brand now. Maybe not all of them. Maybe not Anheuser-Busch as a whole. Definitely not Anheuser-Busch as a whole. Maybe not even Budweiser. But Bud Light, there's a chance that this could be stigmatized. And the thing that really needs to be taken into account here, you're looking at a turning point in the LGBTQ plus community because there's a pretty good section of the LGBT plus community that is kind of like, well, why are we still being associated with that portion? Like the LGB portion is looking at the rest of that acronym like, why are we still in that group? Because we don't exactly agree with things going on over there, and maybe the lesbians don't really agree with the trans women portion. So I think this is also part of that. I think this was just trying to latch on to that diversity and that divide. I think Bud Light knew exactly what it was doing. So that apology is double bullshit.
Yeah. Like, well, could you say it in any more clear corporate doublespeak? Like that was about as clear as mud. Bandit goes, next time, tell that it can't be a genocide because the people have to either be the same nationality or ethnic group. Being trans doesn't fall into either group. That was actually brought up that night. And Vivian's, well, I'm just taking the most restrictive UN definition and expanding it just a little bit, which to me, that's making up your own definition, which we can't all have personal language. Like I'm curious, Zig, have you ever heard of the phenomenon that's happening on Twitch where you run into people with their own personal language?
Yeah, all the time.
And it's really hard to actually communicate because they're not only speaking their own personal language, but they're kind of living in their own little personal world.
And it mostly comes from the left, but yeah, all the time.
Oh,
like
nine times out of 10, or maybe even more. Ben Man, Alex Jones is pissed because they turned the freaking beer gay.
Yeah,
turn the freaking beer.
They turned the freaking beer gay.
Oh my god!
I've never been on Urban Dictionary so much in my life since I started entering the Twitter politics sphere.
Yeah, Twitter, Twitch, and like it's.
I have to actually have like freaking Urban Dictionary up on a tab almost always, like 100% of the time, just to figure out like what these new terms are. Like I feel like a freaking old guy, like out of the loop,
There's times when like I'm like on a debate panel and I'll have my daughter here and I'll have to be like, hey kiddo, what's no cap mean? And she just has to like roll her eyes like, okay, no cap means like no lie, no, like you're not gonna BS here or anything. Like it's like okay, thanks. I need to know what the hell that meant. And so yeah, luckily I got a kiddo that's kind of like my translation for anything that's like new or cool. So I got that going.
You have a translator. You're lucky. You have a Gen Z or millennial translator. You're lucky. So.
Yeah. Soon too.
I feel like we should probably get an in-depth take on this whole issue from maybe some people that are more important than just a bunch of people talking on the internet, right? We should probably get some input from maybe the government.
Well, the government would know a thing or two about this, considering they do regulate alcohol to a certain extent. So, Tony,
let me see if I can help with that. I'll be right back.
We'll see. Tony's going to make a quick restroom break while we get into this. But so. Yes, the Bud Light chaos and controversy. But
I looked at it like this. I look at it like this. It's a perfect time for me to go straight edge, so I don't have to be.
Nah, fuck all this. I'm not part of any of this shit. Y'all can just have your own bullshit fun, kids.
Y'all can go ahead and cannibalize yourselves. I don't really care.
Yeah. So, but like you were saying about this particular space, one thing I always like to point out is, like, to me, I'm never all that serious, but I am sincere. I want people's lives to work out and I want good things to happen to people. But I've noticed on Twitch, what you have is kind of the opposite of people who are very serious, but they're not sincere. They seem like they would lie to your face just to get you to say something that they could then turn around and say, hey, look at this person, see what they did, and like try to cancel you. And so like it seems like a very disingenuous form of communication on Twitch that I've noticed where, and like you said, particularly on the left. Now, folks, we are ready. We have a very special guest. We have a man who is the current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the steward of the White House, King John of our Kingdom Americana himself, the one, the only, Joseph R. Biden. How are we?
Oh yeah, Mulvaney 316 says I just lost you $5 billion. And if you're not down with the LMFAO plus community, give me an old show, yeah.
going, motherfuckers?
How are we doing? Joseph R. Cold. How are we doing, Joe?
Oh, give me an old Joe, yeah.
Oh, Joe, no. Oh, Joe. So, Joe, I have to ask. I mean, normally you're a teetotaler, but you seem to be totally into the Bud Light tonight.
Forget about it. You know, as the most LGBTQ plus community endorsing president ever, most popular ever, 800 billion people voted for me. 700 billion of them were of the community. I'm here to show my full support for the community, for Dylan. What a great job for an American product. It's inspiring. It's inspiring. And frankly, you know, the revenue that he's brought to Bud Light, just tear to my eye. It's inspiring. It feels like he should work for the government. She should work for the government.
I was about to say, Joe, you know that Dylan's a she.
I said that eventually.
So, Joe,
You want to see it again?
I think we do. I actually think
Roll that beautiful bean footage, producer.
Oh yeah, Mulvaney 316 says I just lost you $5 billion. And if you're not down with the LMFAO plus community, give me an old Joe, yeah.
Wow. That is Joe. So I got to ask you, how did it taste considering this is your first time ever having beer, and your first time ever having beer was Bud Light? How did it taste, Joe?
Tasted like freedom. Just red, tasted white. Hell, it tasted blue. I'm so proud. Tasted like all the colors of the rainbow. It was like a Skittle, basically. It was beautiful. It was a pairing of my tongue, my palate, and the beautiful elixir that is Bud Light. Oh, Joe, yeah.
Now, God. So, Joe, do you know who Dylan Mulvaney is?
A what now?
Oh no, Joe, do you know who Dylan Mulvaney is?
Oh yeah, that girl feller on the can. Did the commercial with the thing. Yeah. Inspiration, stunning brave, all the buzzwords.
Joe, are you going to be offering Dylan Mulvaney an administration spot?
Yeah, once we're done with the black lesbian, I think I'll make her, press secretary. We're gonna do a little swap. We're gonna do a new reality show. You know that old wife swap show? We're gonna do job swap. But instead, we're gonna make her the press secretary, and we're sending the black lesbian to do Bud Light commercials. It's gonna be great. So that's what you're going to vote for in 2024, folks. If you want to see that happen, give me an old Joe, yeah.
Now, Zigmover, it was incredible. You got to be here for the final episode of Hazard Analysis. It was a great run.
Oh, really?
It was. I don't know. Like, come check us out on K.O.E Nation next week for that.
I feel honored and perturbed and disturbed and disappointed all at the same time, all the same point.
That is the normal expectation and feelings of almost every one of our fans.
Hey, now, Joe Biden, I didn't vote for you, but I'm probably going to now since you're over here saying, "Oh, Joe, yeah," promoting the Bud Light.
I'm sorry. Did you just say you didn't vote for me?
No, I didn't.
You should probably check again. Because I think you did. 2024, folks. Get ready. You ain't even got to show up.
Oh my God. So
if you want to make Tony G chug Bud Light, don't only just give me a Joe, yeah, you go to buymeacoffee.com/Tony G, and those votes will also count for Joe Biden 2024.
Jesus Christ. Okay, now, Zig Mover.
Yes.
This is a historic moment. Our current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue has stopped by. Is there any question you got for good old Joe? Or did he pretty much just answer it all right there?
He pretty much answered everything. He pretty much answered everything.
All the troubadours, all the hairy legs. You know, it's simple, really.
Oh, hey, Joe Biden, I have a question for you. Actually, now
Shoot.
that I think about it, what are your thoughts on the Endeavor deal, the Endeavor WWE deal?
The We Network, it's a good one. I'd like to see them be a little more inclusive, need to be a little more family friendly, like drag shows. They should probably show some of those on that channel. Especially to kids. They need it's important to learn about
The
that
We
stuff.
Network is Oprah, Joe.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Isn't that what you asked me?
No,
Yes, it's the merger of Oprah's We and UFC. Yes, that's
it's
what we're
Oprah's We and UFC. Yes.
Oh, okay. So what'd you say about an endeavor? Look, whatever my son did, that has nothing to do with me or my chances of becoming president for the fourth time. I don't.
He's worried about whatever endeavor his son's done. Joe,
I
you're
was
so proud of
elected
him.
fair and square in 2020. Obviously, repeat in 2021. 2022, we knocked it out of the park. And here I am in 2023, won the midterm elections in a landslide, ran unopposed. Nobody touches me. 2024, we're coming at you again for a fourth time.
Joe,
Are we going to put that corn pop on the terrace? Oh, he's been on the watch list. He's been on the watch list. But here's the thing. Corn Pop, he's an elusive bastard. I hear he changed his name to Jiffy Pop, so we've been having trouble finding him. Think he moved to Moldova or Ukraine or one of those places.
One of those places you launder your money. So, yeah. Joe, I gotta say, before we go,
you have a laundromat on site in the White House.
I'm sure you need one. Now, Joe, before you go and Jill has to change your diaper.
My sister, yes. Love of my life.
Yes, your sister, Jill Biden. I was just going to let you know that there was a little bit of a leak that dropped.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I thought I went to the bathroom before I came on, folks.
God. No, Joe.
I'm sorry.
An intelligence leak.
No, I assure you, my cabinet would not allow for any intelligence to be leaked anywhere.
Yeah, there would have to be some. But
right.
No, Joe, it was revealed actually that we do in fact have special forces boots in the ground in Ukraine, and we are actively involved in that. Joe?
Yeah.
Joe?
Look, Bud Light, all right? Look, Bud Light is what you need to be worried about. Look, they're putting a guy on the can who says he's a woman. This is what you need to be concerned about. Look, distraction. Distraction. Come on. Hail Mary.
Joe.
Hail Mary.
Joe, enjoy your only term.
Distraction.
No.
You don't know anything about the overseas stuff. Look, there's a girl on the can. There's a girl on the can. You don't like the girl on the can. Yeah.
I wish that wasn't so much of our modern American politics and culture right
Bud Light. What'd you say? Russia? Bud Light.
Ukraine.
Bud Light. Dylan Mulvaney. Mulvaney.
Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden.
Yeah, actually, you know what? He's become a pretty good distraction too. He might be the next Bud Light. You know what? He might be Budweiser's spokesperson if I got anything to say about it.
I'm sure you could get that done. So, Joe,
he actually might be the spokesperson for Coca-Cola.
Well, half of that.
Yeah, the
Yeah, Coke,
coca,
yeah.
the coca
The
leaf.
Coke.
half.
The Coke
Coca
part,
leaf,
the
anyways.
Coke part, Coca-Cola, yeah.
Yeah, so
Diet Coke, maybe.
it's like, actually, Joe, how many times has Hunter sent you letters begging you to sign a law or an executive order to put the cocaine back into the Coke?
Oh, I'm always so proud. You know he's an artist, right? He does those color by number books with the water paint. Oh, it's so proud.
And charges millions for it. Definitely not a money laundering scheme. So
How you earn your how you earn your millions is your business, all right? Just be prepared to get audited and get thrown in jail. Not me,
exactly.
because
Yeah,
I'm the most popular president in history. You see me getting audited. You see me getting impeached twice. Having hearings of January 6th, or my house being raided, or sleeping with a hooker. I wouldn't dare.
actually, the
wouldn't dare.
FBI did search your house, Joe, and they found a bunch of classified documents.
They were
you weren't supposed
invited.
to have.
They were invited. All right, we invited them in, and we shook hands, and everything was fine.
Let's say you had a chance to clean your shit up and still didn't get all your shit taken care
Look,
of,
I
Joe.
said
Come
I'm
on.
sorry about the leak. I thought I went to the bathroom before I got on the show tonight. I thought I cleaned it up. I'll have Jill double check me next time. I'm sorry, folks. I apologize. I've ruined it. Oh,
Well,
Joe does
Joe,
it again.
I think it's time for Jill to check that old diaper. Now, I say, Zig, this might be your last chance to ever speak.
Dylan
the
smells a
sitting
little
president.
musty.
Dylan smells musty. So yeah, Joe knows how Dylan smells. Zig, any last words you have for the current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue?
So if I vote for you, in the next coming election, can I go ahead and classify my race as being black?
Oh, look, however you want to identify, that's your business. We are not here. We're not scientists, all right? We're not scientists. We're not even geologists. The earth might even be flat. I don't know. It's crazy times out there. But all I know is this. If you don't vote for me in 2024, basically, it's over. It's done. The orange man will get back in, and all the good that we've done in my term, it'll all be for naught. Is that what you want? I don't think it is. That's what I said. Bud Light. Bud Light. Nailed it. Home run.
We're in horrible hands, folks. So Joe, God save us all. I hope that you at least aren't as feckless as we all know you are, because we're now in World War III. So thanks for getting us into that, Joe. That was nice of you.
Could anybody else do it? I don't think so. Nobody else has the balls to do it. That's what I do. President Biden, folks, coming at you. 2024.
Oh my God, producer, can you?
Oh yeah, Mulvaney 316 says I just lost you $5 billion. And if you're not down with the LMFAO plus community, give me an old Joe, yeah.
That is still one of the greatest things of all time.
What did I miss?
Tony, welcome back, T. Tony.
What did I miss?
Oh, God damn it, Tony, you missed him again. Joe Biden
again?
was here.
Oh, man.
I don't know if you noticed this. It's kind of like He-Man and Adam. The minute Tony has to step away, Joe just seems to sneak right on the set. And
I never seen Tony and Joe in the same room. So, I'm just saying.
I don't know. They don't seem to have any physical similarities, but
yeah, they don't have to see any physical similarities or any of any intelligent similarities. So we could go ahead and throw that out the door. I think they're two totally different people.
Clearly.
Obviously. Yeah, Tony. So while you were out on the restroom break, Joe Biden graced us with his presence.
Damn it, I always miss it.
Yeah, you missed it, man. You missed it. He had some great quotes about Dylan Mulvaney and the whole Bud Light fiasco. Damn. Apparently, he's sponsored by Bud Light too. I mean, his presidential campaign.
As we all should be.
Yeah, we all should be these days, man.
And Joe coined a new term, that lady feller.
Yeah, the lady feller.
So like it's like Joe is truly an inspiration. Stunning and brave. So Tony, while you were gone, I'm wondering, did you formulate any final thoughts about this Bud Light issue that we've got here, T?
Final thoughts?
Well, like before we get into our hazards, our analysis, and all that, that's such.
So we're pre-lubing the final thoughts.
Yes, pre-lubing the final thoughts, preamble, prologue, if you will, to the epilogue.
So yeah, we've touched on this a little bit. Anheuser-Busch is a big fucking company, and it's what German owned and operated now, and they've changed it. Yeah, like so, it's not even like it's a U.S. company anymore. Ben says just like Facebook checkers were funded by pharma. Yeah. So Anheuser-Busch as a whole is going to be fine. I think ultimately this is going to come down to alleviating the initial stress of losing customers potentially, because let's be frank, there's a lot of beer out there. And there's
you mean there's more than one?
More than one. And you're probably looking at, let's be frank, a certain class of society that's drinking Bud Light the most, right? And they're going to move over to something else. And I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be going from, I don't like Bud Light anymore, so I'm going to drink Busch Light now. And guess what? It's still the same company, technically.
Let's go get some Miller. The same company.
Fuck them. I'm switching to Bud Heavy. You know, there's one guy.
It's like going from Coors to Miller.
Yeah.
It's the same shit. So Anheuser-Busch has a ton of products under the same company. Ultimately, they're going to be fine. And eventually, Bud Light will probably be fine too, but they've got to find out a way to alleviate this stigma in the short term.
Yeah, fuck Bud Light. I'm going to try this Bud Light Live.
Yep. God.
Bud Nitro.
Buy Bud before the stock price goes back up. Yeah, that's no shit. And it's funny. I was actually
not to be confused. Actual investment advice.
I don't know what this is, but I'm going to read you something from the pinknews.com. I don't even know what this website is. It popped up when I searched this. Bud Light shares hit new highs in wake of collab with trans TikToker Dylan Mulvaney. This is on April 12th, so this is a couple days ago. I don't know where they're getting their information, but that's a pretty big contrast from losing $5 billion the share price for Bud Light's parent company have reportedly hit a record high despite the transphobic backlash of TikToker Mulvaney's sponsorship deal with the brand. Let me just asterisk here right now. The share price for Bud Light's parent company have hit a record high. Despite sales reportedly dropping in some parts of the U.S. after several transphobes claimed they would be boycotting Bud Light because of the partnership. That's not a claim. You can literally watch YouTube or TikTok and see them shooting it with a gun or driving over it with their truck. It's all over the place. At least one right-wing news outlet citing a bloodbath over all the shares of Anheuser-Busch are said to have climbed to record levels. The backlash came after Mulvaney, who shot to fame her days of girlhood TikToks documenting her public transition, was sent to a personalized can of beer to celebrate the first anniversary of her daily series. Several right-wingers claimed they would no longer drink the brand's beer, with musician Kid Rock even filming himself shooting Bud Light cans. Despite this financial magazine, The Street reported Bud Light's parent company has vaulted to 52-week highs. That's an interesting spin. 52-week highs, huh? The magazine added that Anheuser-Busch's shares continue to outperform those of its peers, including the owners of Coors Light. Sure, that was probably always the case. The shares climbed to about 15% from the March 15 to the March 31 high, the Street claimed. So, I don't know. This, to me, just sounds like a really convenient way of spinning something that's not really there.
Their stock prices never went up or down. They've just been steadily on the incline since the beginning of last year.
I was about to say,
so
year to date, they're slightly higher, but over the past 5 years, they're actually down A
Okay.
significant 37%
Yeah.
over the last 5 years. So
Wow.
so this is a Hail Mary because you got to realize sales and stock price are two different things. Like,
Yes.
because Tony, there's been times when, and Zig, there's been times when the WWE product has been shit, but the
Right.
stock, you'd have no idea. So this is sort of the same thing where, because you got to realize what the stock market is. When people understand this, it's kind of like, oh wow, really? We should not be putting as much putting as much weight behind some of this that we do. The entire stock market is a psychological engine. Basically, it's a series of thousands of companies that are out there trying to convince the world that their CEO or their president or their chairman of the board is Willy fucking Wonka. And he's the guy that just knows how to run it better than anybody else in the whole goddamn world. Elon Musk is a goddamn master of this. And so he's just like, and so this is an instance where Bud Light, their CEO's like, okay, let's get a little controversy. Let's try and push them stock numbers up. And regardless of sales at the moment, it's getting them a lot of good press, and people will buy the stock based on the press. Now, me, like I always say, not to be construed sexual investment advice, but I would say I would not be buying Bud Light at the moment, but I also wouldn't be going short Bud Light because, like Zig said, it's been fucking sideways damn near all year.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, it's like, so this is something that they were trying to do to try and get a little stock bump. Still didn't fucking work. Like, so, but.
Well, you've got to consider the fact that Anheuser-Busch is always going to be behind the 8 ball. Now, right now in America, you're seeing a big boom in craft beers. But Anheuser-Busch has tried to cash in on that craze too, and it's just never going to work because a big conglomerate like Anheuser-Busch, it's never going to have a product that meets the specifications that are going to meet the public ire of a craft beer type situation. We have people out like the way we freak out about whiskey, people do that tenfold over IPAs and craft beers. Anheuser-Busch is never going to be able to capitalize that. That doesn't mean that a majority of their sales need to be catered to craft beer drinkers. They absolutely do not, because that makes up just a fraction of beer consumption overall. So, why didn't they take that same concept when looking at marketing and go, should we cater to a small niche section of our consumers and potentially alienate a majority of the consumers just for some publicity? Or should we maybe play this one safe? I'm not saying it's right or wrong, and I don't give a fuck who you have to sponsor your shitty beer. It's still shitty. I don't care. Again, I think they should have doubled down, and the apology was shit. But if you're gonna do it if you're gonna do this, you're gonna have Dylan Mulvaney do whatever. It could have been done in a different way that it wouldn't have caused so much outrage. And I don't have the perfect answer to this. And I think a lot of the outrage is pretty fucking completely unnecessary. It really is. Like, people are freaking out over a marketing campaign. It's pretty stupid, honestly. Marketing is always going to be marketing. You don't have to agree with it. It's going to be effective one way or another. But good God, they had to have thought about this and gone through with it anyway. Why did they do it? Why did they do something? And we're seeing now that it affected them in a big way. It cost them a lot of fucking money. And I understand that the internet is going to be really rough when it comes to pushing these smear campaigns on a product that it disagrees with their marketing. So that helped a lot too. So what they're going to do to fix this, I'm actually kind of anxious to see. They're not going to fix the actual product. It's all marketing. So whatever it is that's going to be the saving grace for Bud Light, it ain't going to be in this glass. It ain't going to be what comes in the can. It's all on the advertising. It's all in the marketing. So what they do next, that bullshit apology on Twitter, that wasn't shit. So what else you got? Because that was a swing and a miss.
So I think we come to that point where
it's not the campaign, it's about sending a message.
It kind of
I like
that. We get to this point where we have the hazard and the analysis. of this particular topic. So, for the Bud Light topic in general, Zig, as the guest this evening, we're going to let you go first, sir. What do
I'm
you see?
honored.
What do you see as the hazard and the analysis going forward?
As far as the hazard is concerned, I don't really think this advertising is going to do anything really major. I think it's more with the apology. I think it's more detrimental than it is with the than just not saying anything and just going about it. Um, I'm a proponent of if you're going to do something, just go balls to the wall with it and put all your effort into it. And if it fails, it fails. You got mud on your face, just you dust yourself off, try again, on something else. There's no room really for apology because you meant to do what you meant to do.
Yeah.
Regardless of like Anheuser-Busch knew what they were fucking doing with the whole Bud Light thing. They knew what they were doing. And they probably knew that they were going to get blowback from it too. They probably knew it was like, hey, our core fan base, which are probably probably the super conservative NASCAR watching, sports watching, white people are not going to like this. But hey, we're going to try and do it because we're going to try to reach a fan base we're going to try to reach a demographic and a user base that probably doesn't drink our product on the regular or doesn't consume Bud Light on the regular. So that's why they reached out. Like, I understand why they did it. But I don't understand like the backtracking after. Like, you understand, you could have that letter that you sent. You could have, hey, this is why we were trying to do this, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. We knew you were probably not going to like it, but this is why we're trying to do this. We're trying to reach out to a market, that's probably not that doesn't consume Bud Light. This is probably like Tony said earlier. This is the market that consumes IPAs. This is the market that consumes these craft beers, these probably like very small brewery beers or whatever. That's the market that market goes for. I know people that are part of this market that go for those kinds of beers. They don't drink Bud Light. They don't drink Miller. They don't drink like these common beers that you see on the TV all the time. They're more focused on like not the IPAs, but they're more focused on the no, like the beers that you have to like Google to find out where the beer's from, or Google to find out what the beer is and brew it and stuff. I mean, I give ups to Bud Light for doing this, for going out and doing this, even though I might disagree with some of the tactics and the backtracking. I 100% give them ups for doing this, and especially trying to advertise to a market that probably doesn't consume their product. Yes, it backfired on them. Yes, they're backtracking a little bit, which was a mistake to backtrack. But overall, I think they're fine with what they did, even though I might disagree with some of the stuff, and I like we make fun of them. I still think it's fine.
All righty, Tony, the hazard and the analysis.
So the hazard, I think you're seeing the hazard. You have the chance to lose a bunch of money short term. They have a chance to spurn a bunch of loyal clientele. They have. So the hazard has already happened. The hazard is you cost yourself a bunch of money, you lose a bunch of customers. This is like if you brought up NASCAR. This is like if NASCAR did the same thing and said, you know what, we're going to have Dylan Mulvaney be an analyst on every fucking race. Why would you do that? That's not going to create new viewers. That's going to spurn the ones that you already have. It's like with pro wrestling. You made that comparison. Like, why would you do something to piss off your clientele, your customers, your fans? Why would you do that? You're appealing to a section of your fan base instead of the fan base as a whole. Why do that? It's just not smart. Like, as a company that's doing very well, Anheuser-Busch does very well, Bud Light does very well. Why would you not be trying to get new customers? And they're not going to do that with Bud Light Lime and Bud Light Seltzer, and sure, you're going to appeal to a few more people, but that's not really hyping the brand Bud Light, is it? It's you're just spurning away loyal clientele. And I think the hazard here is they need to do something and do it quick, and they should have just doubled down. But now that they haven't and they've backtracked, they got to figure something out. They need to figure out something. And my analysis is going to be eventually they'll be fine, because eventually I think they'll lay low enough, it'll just go away, and people that enjoy the product will eventually come back to it. Or they'll move on to Busch Light, or they'll move on to craft beers, and it's going to be fine. Like, Anheuser-Busch isn't going anywhere. We're not going to see a new Coke version of Bud Light, even though that probably wouldn't hurt them at this point.
They already did that.
Yeah, so the analysis is eventually Bud Light's going to be fine, and I think they just need to really think about their marketing strategies moving forward. And I make this suggestion not because I give a fuck who they want to use to promote their beer, or who anybody wants to use to promote their beer, or what any brand wants to use for a spokesperson. I don't care. Do what you want. It doesn't affect me in the slightest. But don't cater to a specific niche of people to try to create new fans, when really it's going to come at the cost of alienating people that you already have. There's a divide in the country, whether you want to admit it or not. I don't like being divided. I hate it. I hate the fact that people hate each other. That's the biggest thing I worry about all the time. The hate that people have for other people. But you can't ignore the fact that that exists. And especially when it comes to something as simple as fucking beer. Why alienate your most loyal customers? Probably don't do that.
Well, all right. Getting into my hazard, there's two hazards actually. The hazard is that here in a few minutes, I might have to take a shot at gin. That's a very big hazard. We'll see about that. But the other biggest hazard is something Tony kind of touched on, is that advertising is going to soon be used and it is being used to divide us. A company is actually actively dividing people out there in the world to sell their beer product. And that is a very craven and unfortunate place that we find ourselves. And that is a moral hazard that I don't know if I want to find ourselves in for much longer. Now, in terms of the analysis, one thing that Zig said is don't apologize for it. You already knew what you did. It's kind of like if I cheated on a chick. It's like, all right, darling, yes, I did fuck that other bitch, but I promise moving forward,
I thought about you the whole time.
I'm going to do the corporate speak and the apology. I'm going to be committed to being more committed to this relationship. We're going to show we're going to have 15% more happiness on Sundays. And yeah, all that kind of stupid corporate bullshit. The final piece of analysis is I understand why any company does this, because to quote the great Dutch Mantel, if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. So that's going to be how that goes in the end. But folks, guess what? As I'm known to say around here, what, Tony? What?
Good try, but
what?
Tyler.
I know, but we got to wait till hour 3, Tony. What? We're not in hour 3 yet.
We will be in about 20 seconds.
No. There's no way. Like, Tyler, you ain't got the gumption. You ain't got the balls. You ain't going to make me do shit.
Hey, it's not like I'm safe either, bud.
All right. Well, we're at the third hour, and folks, bring them on. But as I'm known to say around here, you know what? Before I get that, because when I drop the finals, oh, God damn it, Bandit. Well, now Tyler has not officially said what he's making me drink yet. He could be giving Tony a beer. Chicken's got a bud. So while you get that ready, Ziggy Zaggy of Ziggy Zaggies of Oi Oi Ois.
Hey, so again, folks, Big Buck and Empire, the Dog and Chicken Show is coming back next week. I encourage you to keep that in mind. Just, throwing that out there. Cheers.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It meant a lot. I was very happy to get on and talk some wrestling and Endeavor stuff.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Absolutely. Ah, there it is. There it is.
What?
There it is.
God damn you guys.
Tyler, Jen for Phil. There we go.
So is that a double?
Yeah, Bandit and Tyler looks like.
Tyler and Tony. Why? So
Why not? Why not?
Oh, that's almost a 2.5. You know, I'll end tonight with the classic Gaelic. Jesus. Classic Gaelic toast I usually start it. And for all of you beautiful people at Big Bucket Empire, Hazard Analysis, KOE Nation, Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast, and wherever you can find me, Tony, Chicken, and all of this crazy cast of characters, folks, this is to fighting, stealing, and drinking. If you're going to fight, may it be for a friend. If you're going to steal, may it be a lover's heart. And if you're going to drink, by God, I hope it's with me. So, folks, all that being said, thank you for joining us here at the Big Buckin' Empire Hazard Analysis, KOE Nation, wherever you can find us, folks. God bless every last one of you, and I hope all of you make it back here happy, healthy, much the wiser. Raise a glass to yourselves, folks. You can find me, of course, Phil KOE at KOE Nation on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. Find me at Tony over at Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. Next week, folks, Big Buckin' Empire makes its Big Buckin' return. But do not worry, folks. Hazard Analysis is going Sunday nights here, folks. So you can get this amazing Tony Phil content every week, no matter what's going on. God bless every last one of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Zig, thank you for joining us this evening. Give the folks a shout out to where they can find you, sir.
Twitter, twitter.com/SigMover. You can also find me twitch.com/SigMover. I don't stream that much. Try to start a wrestling podcast. I kind of fell through, but we're trying to ramp it back up. It's going to be called the Surprise Roll Up. It's going to be a weekly to bi-weekly wrestling podcast. We're going to talk everything, including AEW, Impact, WWE, indie stuff. I've been getting into what was it? Not House of Hardcore. There's another like federation in New York that I've been getting into. It's JD from NY's federation that he's part of that I've gotten into recently. We talk all that stuff. We talk wrestling news, a little bit of gaming news stuff. Kind of a plethora there. Trying to get it back up. Hopefully I can get it going to where it's a bi-weekly show, but it's going to be on twitch.tv/SigMover. Like I said, twitter.com/SigMover. Just go ahead and check me out on those parts of social media.
Hells yeah. So, Tony, sir, it's been, I'd say, one of the most successful episodes of Hazard Analysis ever. It had a spectacular 5-star beginning, and it ended with a 12-star finish. So, Tony, take us away, sir.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thanks, Zigmund, for coming on. Thanks, Phil, for showing up, when you advertised. And yes, next week,
early.
the Dog and Chicken Show will return on Friday, and Hazard Analysis will be on Sunday. So, folks, I need you all to make sure you go to all of those YouTube channels. I know it's such a big ask to go to a YouTube channel and hit like, share, and subscribe. It's so hard. I know. And if you need a link to it, I'm more than happy to personally send that to you, however you need it. But make sure to like Hazard Analysis on YouTube, like the Big Buckin' Empire on YouTube, or just Big Buckin' Empire on Facebook. That should get you right where you need to go. Next Friday, Dog and Chicken Show returns. Then Sunday night, Hazard Analysis returns again for episode number 5. So, folks, I thank you all for joining us, and I cannot wait to see everybody back here next week. Appreciate it. Can't do the show without you. We love you. to death, and we talked about a lot of fun stuff, and we always have fun stuff to talk about, and we will have more fun stuff to talk about next week. So until then, folks, we will see you next time. Booyah.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And see if it just smooths itself out.
Back, tell you what I'll do. If I ever get back, I promise to refabricate you. Raging rivers of gold. That's what the brochure advertised. And now we're lost. We gotta take it down. Let you down slow. It's hard to survive. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So that was actually pretty fun. Whoops. There we go. So, folks, that was last week's episode of Hazard Analysis to let you all know that the new time slot is at 9 o'clock Sunday going forward. Bandit, since you started with Bare Necessities, you should have ended with King Louis. I want to be like you, woo woo. Talk like you, walk like you, it's true, woo woo. Oh, yes. But yeah, I didn't know we were live, and I kind of skipped past that because I was like, but yeah, I just came on because I didn't think we were live. But yes, that is Hazard Analysis. Even if it starts off a little rocky, we will always bring it back around, and we will make it the best possible show you could ever hope to be a part of. But folks, there's something that I'm kind of looking forward to showing y'all. This is the end of a very long journey. A 6-month-long journey that Tony embarked me and Chicken on, and it was the Irish Whiskey Tournament. 32 Irish whiskeys in a single elimination tournament. We had the 32 to eliminate to the Sweet 16. We eliminated the Sweet 16 down to the Elite 8. We eliminated the Elite 8 down to the Final 4. And now, after 6 months of this journey, we have arrived at the championship match. The final 2 Irish whiskeys that are the greatest in all God's sundry as far as our palates are concerned, that any normal man, woman can get their hands on. So, without further ado, folks, let's get right in to the Irish whiskey of Extreme, the Irish whiskey of the year, the winner of this whole damn tournament. Welcome, one and all, to the K.O.E. Nation for the Grand Championship finale of the 32 Irish Whiskey Tournament of Extreme. I am your King of Extreme, Phil K.O.E. You can find me at K.O.E. Nation on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. And I am joined this evening by the illustrious Congressman Tony G, here for an interesting evening, and also the one, the only,
You're Big Buck and Emperor Chicken. But first, howdy, Tony.
Howdy, partner.
Okay, so we've got...
Yes, it is I, the 14-time Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast Champion, the Blend Master of Ceremonies, the non-chill filtered and quadruple distilled Tony fucking G. Like, share, subscribe, and here we are at the finale, the championship, the grand farewell to the 32 Irish Whiskey Tournament of Extreme. And yes, I am the Lord of the Irish Highlands.
The Willy Wonka of the Irish Whiskey Tournament.
Thank you. That was sweet. And we are here to celebrate 30 years of Irish whiskey with this pairing of Redbreast 15-year and Tullamore Dew 15-year. 30 years of Irish whiskey excellence culminating here for you at the KOE Nation, folks. And this is going to be really, really difficult, but really, really delicious, because this is the result. 30 other whiskeys have come and gone, and only these two remain. And much like the Highlander, there can be only one, folks. So, which will it be? And, folks, I'm sure you know the shtick by now. They do know which two whiskeys we're drinking, obviously, but they do not know which one is which yet. Though I'm sure once we start, they will have their suspicions.
So, Chicken, how did Tony label these two
It
whiskeys
doesn't matter.
to give
No,
us a better idea?
It always matters, Tony.
doesn't matter.
It
Just
does.
don't.
A? Whiskey A
Tony
is
goes off.
4A, so it's A.
4A.
A is 4A, so
Fourth Amendment. So, this particular whiskey A, is the Fourth Amendment, Chicken?
yes.
Okay. So, Tony, in an attempt to try and throw us off, to get us off the trail, he's trying to send us a whiskey that we cannot unlawfully or unreasonably search and seize. Okay.
Mm.
So, this is one that's going to be a little opaque. Its flavors are going to be a little hard to identify, but it's going to be a great whiskey. So, how about Whiskey B? How did Tony
Ah,
do that?
good luck on this one. Most people don't know what this amendment is. 3A.
Ooh, now
I know this is an Irish whiskey video, and you're learning American law here, folks.
Well, I know, Chicken. This might be calling back to something you said earlier in the tournament. This might be a whiskey that we're willing to quarter at our house.
Mm.
So we shall see very soon. Like much like quartering soldiers, but let's get into the Fourth Amendment. Something that you really effectively don't have if you're driving in a vehicle in America. So
Oh,
God damn it, that's beautiful.
oh, God.
This is unfair.
Yeah, no.
It is.
No.
I know.
A B.
Whiskey B,
Oh, melting.
God.
deep in chocolate.
Mm. Why?
Now we have to taste
Why? Why do we have can't they both just win? It's a
it.
tie.
No.
Tie.
The KOE Nation, we owe them.
All right, we've come this far. Mm.
See, like me, I'm just trying
my
to do
God.
all I can to just wipe my mind of what I think either could be or what their product is. I'm just going off what I think
God,
is the
that's
better
good.
whiskey.
That is amazing.
Oh my God. Oh, Whiskey B.
Mm.
Oh my God. This is not fair. At all. Not fair at all. Ugh.
Hmm.
Going back to A, going back to B.
Oh man. Yeah, better go in again.
I think I know what I'm going with. But...
So have I. I've made my decision. Now, gents, this is my show. So I'm going to take the first pick here. And then we're going to go chicken. And then we're going to leave it to one Tony G. We'll see how this goes. By the slightest hair, by the hair of its chinny chin chin. Apparently, if these are twins, one of them was born about a minute earlier. And that's as much as I'm going to give it. Just barely. I'm going to be quartering this whiskey at my home. Whiskey B, the Third Amendment to the United States. Yes, Whiskey B, I'm giving that vote. Chicken?
Well, I might be making this too easy on Tony, but I also will be quartering Whiskey B.
Ooh.
I had a feeling.
Tony?
Mm.
Tis decided, but I'm curious.
What would you have picked?
Not knowing how we were going to vote.
I if it came down to me, I was leaning towards actually Whiskey A.
Mm,
So the only fair thing, finally, the finale, it's been decided unanimously between the two of you.
it's totally 15, ain't it?
The winner of the 32 Irish Whiskey Tournament of Extreme Whiskey B, Tullamore Dew, 15-year. The trilogy.
Beautiful whiskey.
Small batch Irish whiskey, which you can no longer probably find. Which is an absolute travesty because this is the
Was
only
amazing.
whiskey left. 31 others have come and fallen. Tullamore Dew, 15-year.
Well, even Tullamore 12 was the Irish whiskey of extreme 2 years ago. So
Tullamore Dew makes a fantastic
Now,
product.
The
and this is
14's
just
great,
great.
yeah.
folks, I only barely didn't give the vote here, but to thine own self I had to be true. So don't think you're missing out too much if you can't find this, but you can secure a bottle of this. You're well served with Redbreast 15, single pot still. To be frank to you, this is probably what I'm going to keep stocked in my house. Like, I've got a bottle of Jameson Triple Triple that I'm going to enjoy because this I'm probably not going to find, but this I will.
Yeah.
So just barely. Redbreast, to me, I knew in this Final Four any one of them could have won.
Yeah.
And
I knew once this made it to the Final Four that it was going to be really hard pressed. It really didn't matter. I feel like this one was probably going to eke out everybody else, just given how well received it's been since its first review and every other matchup it's had. It's walked away pretty handily, I believe. This one was going to be hard to beat, and there's a reason for that. This thing is amazing. This is 40% ABV, so it's not that strong. But my God, that doesn't mean it's not packing a punch and flavor. Triple distilled, pot still, malt and grain whiskeys perfected in 3 different oak casks, Olisaro sherry, bourbon, and golden rum. That golden rum cask is what sets this one kind of apart from the rest and gives that final extra bit of sweetness and just golden, just flavor town. This is such an amazing whiskey. I cannot believe that they discontinued this.
Yeah.
And I hope that this could pretty much be the impetus of why can't we bring this back? I think this is a good way to start the petition, folks. Sign up now.
I agree. I mean, Tilly, what are you doing taking this off the roster? This is one of the finest, actually it is now, the Irish whiskey of extreme, folks. Oh, yes. That was kind of like that moment, that song Burning Beard Clutch, the power of the Holy Ghost. Oh. Yeah, so this is...
How about the blend?
The final blend of the whiskey tournament of extreme.
The final blend.
Oh my God, nose. Citrusy golden rum.
Yeah.
Orchard fruit rum, golden honey, amazingness.
A+ on the blend. I don't care what you say.
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is really. I agree. A+.
Yeah, A+. Oh,
I mean, it's only the 2 championship winners that made it all the way here over the 6-month journey that the audience has been engaged with us with. So
that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. Wow. That is absolutely stellar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, this is gorgeous.
Incredible stuff.
Folks.
Wow.
As I'm known
I
to
can't
say
believe
around
we're here. I can't believe it's over. This has been amazing.
All that being said, thank you for joining us for this journey of Irish whiskey. This has been a project Tony's wanted to do for a long time. And Tony, we've made it to the hilltop. And now you're left with a half a bottle of the greatest Irish whiskey in God's creation. But now you know goddamn well it is. And so, folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us on this journey. But, folks, there's still plenty more coming yet. There's still a lot more coming down the pike here at K.O.E Nation. So many more whiskey tournaments that you need to see, from bottled and bond to bourbon to corn to wheat, all kinds of whiskey tournaments coming down the pike, folks, right here. Folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. God bless every last one of you, and raise a glass to yourselves. I hope all of you make it back here to the K.O.E Nation happy, healthy, much the wiser. Tony, chicken, take it away.
As always, folks, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you at the next tournament and the next drinks. Appreciate you. Love you.
Tullamore Dew 15. There was a sneaking suspicion that you might just take this thing, and by golly, you did. And folks, if this has taught you anything, if you see this bottle anywhere, either snatch it up that very second, or you go ahead and contact one of us to purchase that bottle, because when it's gone, it's gone. This is going to be a unicorn if it's not already, and I think it is. And this has been the 32 Irish Whiskey Tournament of Extreme. 31 have come, only one remains. Tullamore Dew 15 year is the Irish Whiskey of Extreme. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.
Tell you what I'll do. Excellent stuff, folks. Excellent stuff. If I ever get back. You know what, folks? I'm kind of in a mood of let's get into another championship match. The last tournament that we had before this spectacular Irish whiskey tournament was last year's bourbon tournament. And yeah, let's get into that, folks. Let's get into that. I might do a review a little later. I might not. I was thinking about doing it, but I'm just not feeling it right now. So without further ado, folks, before I get into that, it's just kind of chuckling to myself. Yeah, I might owe some people some apologies in my life. I've been taking shit out on them lately. This weekend I had with my kiddo, perfect. She was A+, and we were great that whole weekend. But everybody else in my life has been getting a lot of shit lately, and I've been thinking a lot about it. And it's about, everybody can kind of guess. Same old thing that always kind of has been bothering me lately for the last 6 months, but it is what it is. And so I probably owe a few people some apologies in my life. And so I've just been thinking about that. And yeah, I don't really feel like doing a review right now. So with all that being said, let's get right into the championship match of the 2022 Bourbon Tournament.
Tonight will be the night that I will die for you.
Why'd that flash?
Card is full. The card is full. I'm sorry. And my card is sorry. You cannot record tonight because your phone is full.
I'm so sorry.
It's so full. Your SD card is fucking full.
Oh, Jesus.
We all know that your battery is dead. I miss you.
I miss you.
Welcome, one and all, to the K.O.E. Nation for the championship matchup of the Sweet 16 Bourbon Tournament. Folks, we started with 16, and we are down to the final 4. Tony,
Yeah.
we got here. We got here and we did it.
We got here with a couple expected winners and a couple of very unexpected winners. So this is going to be, we've got quite an array here.
Yes, but folks, before we get to that, I am your King of Extreme, Phil K.O.E. You can find me at K.O.E Nation on YouTube, K.O.E Nation on TikTok, K.O.E Nation on Twitch, and I am joined by my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only.
I'm merely Tony fucking G. Like, share, subscribe to the KOE Nation, and you can find me at Tony the Rod 2.0 on TikTok, as well as all of the wonderful, amazing, incredible, perfect shows on Linktree/Big Buckin' at the Big Buckin' Empire.
So, Tony, a lot of matchups winning this year. The Buffalo Trace bracket, and by the way, folks, links to all of the videos will be in the description, so check them out. But the Buffalo Trace bracket gave us William LaRue Weller. The Kentucky Outsiders bracket gave us the Bowman brothers, and I know some people are going to say that's kind of cheating, but I don't care. What's good is good, and it says Virginia, so it wins. The budget bracket, again, this year with a very shocking find, which I'm going to keep my eye out for. Old Granddad, 114. And then the Splendor bracket. You know, we didn't think this one was going to make it this far, but I'm glad we did, because Four Roses, still a dark horse. Still.
Yeah, this one, I remember when we first reviewed this, and neither of us was blown away by that. But this is one that got better with age after it was opened, and it really shined. It really, really shined. So a couple unexpected and a couple expected. This is going to be an interesting 4 on 4 on 4 on 4. I am super stoked to see how this one pans out.
Yeah, same here. I got to be perfectly square with you.
Starting out with Old Granddad.
Just want to see something with this. Take that, sir, and start pouring. I'm just a little curious how that's going to hold up. You know what I mean? Like when you have this amazing stuff coming behind it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just curious. Because Old Granddad ain't bad stuff.
No.
Not by any measure.
Not at all.
Then we're going to go with Four Roses.
Four Roses coming in second.
Yes. My dog is outside barking at something, which is kind of normal for that dog.
Understandable. Churro's excited too.
Yes, I mean, this is the finals. Then,
I would,
I
would take some of that.
You probably should have at least a
some
little
yourself.
bit. You know, motherfucker's thinking here.
You know, I'm just saying.
I'm a little excited for the next pour.
Yeah, this one's gonna be And number 2, Four Roses Small Batch Select. Board 4. Well, they'll need some yet.
Yeah, I was a little excited. Can you tell what I'm going to pour next?
I have a feeling. Golly G. Putting it in that lucky number 3 spot. Gosh, I wonder what it could be.
William LaRue Weller.
Yeah.
Now.
In all but one of the brackets, the number 3 seed was the winner. I'm a little shocked.
Oh, and a long pour, too.
Wow, Phil.
Fucking flexing over here.
WLW.
William LaRue.
Masterful, beautiful.
And God's creation, in my opinion. Like it, I think it's probably one of the best bourbons in God's creation, but we will see.
And last, but certainly not least, Bowman Brothers.
The Brothers of Bow. Ah, yes. Virginia bourbon, sort of. It's kind of like Virginia bourbon by way of Kentucky. There we are. Ooh, that's close. There you are.
Yep.
The master copy of the championship match. My God. Here we are.
We
folks.
got here.
We did. There was even some dissension within the ranks, but we were going to push on. What's going on there?
Low battery. First phone.
Oh, okay. So, folks, we have the final championship matchup set up for you. And Tony, it's the last time we're going to do this magic trick. We're going to Wayne's World it right on in. Welcome, one and all, to the K.O.E. Nation for the championship matchup in the Sweet 16 Bourbon Tournament, folks. I am your King of Extreme, Phil K.O.E., the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes the other podcast cower. Folks, you can find me at K.O.E. Nation on YouTube, K.O.E. Nation on TikTok, K.O.E. Nation on Twitch, and I am joined by a crazy cast of characters to be the judges in this final matchup. I am joined by my indomitable broadcast partners, the one, the only.
Still Tony G. Like, share, subscribe.
And your Big Buckin' Emperor. Check me out on YouTube, Facebook, Big Buckin' Entertainment Empire.
Yep.
All of those things.
We'll have it in text for you, folks. Also,
ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce myself. I'm Lynn. I'm Skinnered West on the TikTok. You can follow me if you have the balls or the titties.
If you had the temerity. If you had
the
the balls.
intestinal fortitude.
Yes.
So, also, we are joined by.
I'm Jeremy. You can call me Jeremy. We're very rare to find. And you can see me on Facebook. You can find me on Snapchat and even TikTok.
Well, and we are joined here by a very special guest in studios, all the way from the land of the porcupine, the one, the only.
Brendan from Dad's Worldwide. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
So, we got Brendan from Dad's all around the globe here, and we are going to get into the championship matchup of the Sweet 16. So, gents,
he's also Dad from Flat Earth.
No.
Stop.
All right.
We're not doing this.
All right, gentlemen, start your engines. Take up number one, numero uno.
Cheers.
Nice little thick one.
Sexy.
Nice, sweet smell.
Reminds me of cherry chocolate.
Cherry chocolate. All right. Chicken cherry cola.
Chicken.
Bop.
All right, drink.
Yep.
Some
Savage Garden.
Savage Garden for the win. Oh, yeah.
You know what? Cherry is accurate. I like that. Well, you know what?
That was really good.
Almost like a. You remember like cherry 7-Up? If you mix a cherry 7-Up with some like whiskey.
Yeah.
There.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's it.
All right.
Son of a bitch.
Wow,
That's really good.
That is really
Yeah,
damn
very
good.
good. Gentlemen,
Subtle burn.
Subtle.
well,
yes.
I mean, these are all the winners tonight.
Yeah.
So we're not going to
Yeah, there's not a bad one here.
We're not going to be having shit whiskey. in
These
this
are
match.
going to be yummy, y'all.
Oh, your taste buds are going to get fun.
Number two is also interesting.
Number two.
Nose
Let's
is
smell it.
not
Me
as
too.
strong.
No.
No, the nose is subtle.
No, it's very subtle.
I like.
Butter.
Yeah, I would go with
Very
It has a smoke to
Butterscotchy.
it a little bit.
grainy butter, but
Scotch, yeah.
Very
Scotch.
sweet.
Butterscotch.
I can see the butterscotch.
yeah,
Mm,
that's delightful.
slight spice.
That's stupid good.
Slight spice, but not bad.
Very
Yeah.
subtle.
It finishes. It, yeah,
Oh,
the
I
spice.
like
Like
that.
smoother than
Yeah.
the first one.
The spice really does like.
It's a
And it
jet-
gives you like
The
a nice
spice,
sweet flavor
the
throughout your
nose.
tongue.
Must flow.
It's not one that offends the
Well,
palate.
no, it takes you on a journey. When you take the nose, you're like, oh, this isn't going to be that good. And then you taste it, and you're like, whoa. It takes you
Now-
on a
It's like
ride.
judgment.
What
Let's
is this? What
Take
is
number
this?
three. It's a little bit darker
Yeah,
amber
same.
color than the
Yeah.
other ones.
But the
Feels
nose.
heavier.
And
Ooh.
the smell is nice.
That's really caramel, like caramel.
It's very nice and sweet. Like
Lovely.
and
Oh,
Syrup.
wow.
Syrup.
Oh, my God.
that
I know
four
the
rose
kid.
in it.
I know what this one is.
Just that
I think
four
we all
rose
know what
in
this
it.
one is. But let's wait till the big reveal,
Yeah.
folks. But I think we all have a pretty good idea. Oh, God damn it. That's fucking
It's a
cool.
lot sharper than the first
Yeah.
two.
Yeah, it's got a kick to the
But
end.
the
of it.
cherry, there's
Red
a,
fruits. I get raspberries. I don't get cherries. I get raspberries.
Yeah, there's a kick, but that's like smooth all the way.
yeah. You know what?
All the
Okay,
way through.
raspberry makes sense.
Slight.
Yeah.
I
Raspberry
want to say
doesn't
like
taste
a mango with the back.
I think cherry because it cuts really
It's
harsh at the
fucking-
first,
Yep.
but then
Maybe
yeah,
like
the
that is
raspberry.
wild cherry.
Fantastic.
Okay,
I always
blue
say-
raspberry popsicles.
Yeah, what? What? Blue ring? No.
Yeah. I loved
As
as a
soon as you
kid.
said that,
Those
my
rocket
tongue
ship
just
ones, the
went,
red, white, and
yes.
blue ones.
I loved blue raspberry popsicles as a kid. Loved them.
All right,
Yeah.
if that goddamn whiskey or if
Glow
that
pop.
bourbon had a fucking podcast,
Remember
I
those
would
glow
like,
pops?
share,
Oh,
and
yeah.
subscribe to it.
So you're saying if this whiskey had a podcast, you'd like, share, subscribe?
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Well,
yes.
funny enough, you can see this whiskey on this podcast. So
Yeah.
just
No.
like, share, subscribe.
Maybe
right
that's what
here
you
at
also
KOE
do.
Nation. Cut out the middle name.
All of you out there,
Yeah.
please.
Get
This
that
motherfucker's
fucking
thinking.
clicky button over there.
Now, gentlemen, take up whiskey number 4.
Number
All
4.
right, number
Let's do
4. Knocking down the
This has got more
Also-
corn and butter,
this. A nice smell.
more grain than the fruit on the last one.
Yeah.
For those that are judging
Tardy.
and actually watching.
Okay, soft.
Yeah.
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 This is like
The smell was stronger than the taste.
Afterburn.
I still think the
late
smell is
afterburn.
soft.
Late afterburn.
now. This is
I
like
get
the
slight apple, and that's about it.
this is like the ballet dancer
Red
of the
apple.
4.
Red apple.
But it's very slight.
It's
Yeah.
nice. It's delicate. Yeah, this is like watching.
I
The last
think
one
I
was
can
more
call
like
it
a NASCAR race. This one's more like watching.
Derby.
No, more like a ballet.
I got my
Yeah.
my
Okay.
mind made up on
It's
2
so
of them.
good though.
It is
It's
stupid
so
good. It's all
I
good.
know. There's no. Like,
Yeah, we're back to
we're gonna
square
feel so
one.
guilty giving these awards, aren't we?
I can't decide now.
I got my mind made up on 2 of them.
All right, Tony.
just need
I know I can call one of them for sure.
I think
can
I'm
call
gonna
two.
wait on the coming back down.
So yeah, this
I
will be.
can't. I can't jump
As
from
the
the beginning.
keeper of records, what order should we go back?
Yeah.
Oh god, this is tough. Let's go.
I think 4,
2 in the middle, 2 on the
3,
out.
2,
I was thinking, yeah, let's start back with 4.
4, 1.
4, 1, 3, 2.
Okay.
4, 1, 3, 2.
4, 1, 3, 2.
So 4, no
4
smell,
1.
just fucking go.
Yep. Okay.
I'm correct on my assumption.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Damn it.
I like that a lot.
I
I can't decide.
Yeah, I might have to palate
Pretty
it.
sure I know what the four
You
is.
must.
I know.
You
must finish.
You must.
Mm.
Man, that was really good.
Between
Back
1
to
and
1.
4, I can't decide which
I
one I'm
mean-
going to score that the way I want to. You know what I mean?
Like,
I don't want to shit on any of them
Man.
because they're fucking excellent, but
yeah, this is tough. Like last year, I remember specifically knowing in my head before it was even time to score what was going to be my top, and this is hard. Oh god. Okay, 4, 1, 3, 2. Let's go back to 3. You haven't already.
I'm so.
yeah, I went to 1.
Okay.
I'm on
Going
1.
back to 3, gladly.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'll go back to 3 all the time.
Wow.
I'll go back to any of
Surprising
these.
now. Like I feel like
Okay.
God damn it, this is tough.
jeez.
Like, because I know one of them how I'm going to score, the other 3 I'm still kind of flubbered.
I'm still
Okay,
good
so-
on that. fucking
Flubbed and
assumption.
flabbergasted. There we go.
According to my
Finally
record.
fucking got there.
According to my records, I'm
Your
still
mind
pretty
boggles.
good on what I'm saying.
Yes,
Mind boggling.
literally.
Fuck it.
These are all good.
These are fucking yummy shit.
I'm going to offend almost everybody.
I don't want to piss everybody off, but it might happen.
To thine own self be true, Lynn.
Nope, that's accurate. Okay, so that for sure. That for sure.
Pen down. I know how I voted.
Oh, that's a 2.
No. Okay. No, that's right. Yep.
The championship.
That's right.
All right, I got my tallies up.
I'm still
gonna make me
thinking.
a mixer.
Lynn's like, I want to see how this all comes together.
Yes. Yes.
That's kind of what I'm waiting.
Oh, yes.
So we got pen down, Tony.
I'm getting there. I'm
Okay.
getting there. I'm
I
not
can
there
let
yet.
this shit mix for a little
Okay,
bit while
yeah.
y'all are fucking.
So we got half the states decided. The other half has not decided.
Okay.
yet.
Where are my swing states at? Are
This
they?
is so
Are
hard.
they gonna
Swing
beat Tony?
states, are you decided?
I'm done.
Swing states beat
Okay.
Tony. Do it.
So it's between Tony and Chicken. Now this is one I can't begrudge. You got to get this one right. Like this is the championship match.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Dude,
Tony, you got it.
I'm done.
I agree with you.
Ugh.
I'm hoping me and Phil are matching up like we did the last round.
Yeah, that last match was
That
crazy.
was-
how we like.
Yeah, you were in sync.
Yeah, just yeah,
We're
we
doing
were.
on that
I'll
one.
say actually,
Great
the
minds think
majority
alike,
of
what
us
can I
right
say?
here, besides me. So.
Yeah, you're like one little
Accurate.
discrepancy, but
Okay.
I'm almost.
I have made my decision, and it's going to be wrong regardless.
Almost.
I'll regret it after. There's no wrong answers here, though.
fucking drum roll.
Okay.
Well, Chicken's still deciding.
Well, I mean, we knew Chicken was
Now
going to
tell
be
me-
last.
While he's deciding,
I'm being the snob.
what do you guys make of this blend?
Okay, so at the blend, they were definitely not equal levels this time because I had to dip back into specifically 2 and 3 to make, or no, excuse me, 1 and 4 to make my choice on a specific number.
Yep.
But so I had more of 2 and 3 than I did 1 and 4. But
to decide.
very heavy on the butter, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of orchard fruit, and extra corn. Honestly,
It's just complex.
I don't know. It's good, but there's definitely like specific whiskeys canceling each other out and not in the
It's
right
not
way.
like the Buffalo Trace.
Well,
blend
no,
that we did
because,
where
yeah,
it just all.
Yeah, you're talking about the
melded
right,
so well.
the same
Right.
distiller. These are all so vastly.
They're kind of fighting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
very
They're fighting
aggressive.
for who's
Yeah.
gonna win.
This is a
Yeah.
fight for supremacy
Yeah.
and
In a glass.
in a glass, and I think we all know.
Who's winning?
I have a feeling we know.
No.
If I had to predict, I think I would guess correctly.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Everything
Yeah.
Tony says times 2.
Times 2,
Chicken's like, I
times
fucking-
3, 4.
Chicken's like, I
Yeah.
fucking love this.
I
This is
fucking
good.
love this.
Chicken's
I
like,
don't
no,
want
you
this
know what? Fuck it. Refill my glasses. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go back
I'm gonna
in
take
one
one
more
more
time.
time.
Let's
I wanna
go
try
through it
again.
All right,
again.
Chicken, just turn around real quick.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Done?
This was not easy. Last year was so
Made my
easy.
decision.
All right.
Last year was stupid
Pens
easy.
We
down.
got more. people.
Pens are down.
Oh my
I
god!
gotta keep it.
I fucking love.
We'll have
Are we
Halloween
ready?
on Christmas.
All
I
right.
can finally discard the empty Glencairns.
Yes.
Only one remains.
All right, gentlemen, are we ready for the reveals?
I think so.
We'll wish
After
this
all
never
the
ended.
disagreements.
All right.
The master copy has been revealed. Here we go. The reveal.
Ah! Okay. Whiskey 1,
The tension. is-
Old Granddad 114. Whiskey 2 was
Wow.
Four Roses
Whoa.
Small Batch
That's surprising.
Select.
Did not-
Now-
I thought I liked that a lot.
To no one's surprise, number 3 was William LaRue Weller.
Yeah, no
Yep.
surprise.
Okay, and number 4 was, of course, Bowman Brothers. So,
Wow.
Tony, here you are.
Oh,
This is
So-
why this was so. I was reacting to the reactions. Like I think everybody's in sync on this one.
Well,
it was
we will
surprising.
see.
It was
Brandon,
surprising.
what did you give Old Granddad?
I gave it 2.
2 points.
Yep.
All right.
Chicken, what did you give it?
Number 1 was I give it a number. I give it.
Gave it 2 points.
Okay, 2,
I gave it 3.
3. Wow, 3 from
I
Phil.
fucking really liked that
Lynn?
stuff.
I gave number 1 and number 2.
1, 2. Okay.
Sadly, mine really took a hard left turn. I gave it a number 1.
Wow.
Wait,
1.
Ooh.
That was actually one of my 4s.
I actually gave it 3.
Yeah, I know. That was.
What?
I think that was one of my.
Yeah,
first as well.
That's fucking good.
Unfortunately, Old Granddad 114 did not get 14 points, but it came
Damn.
close. It got 13. That
Oh,
would have been perfect. Would have been perfect.
now,
Wait, it's Friday the 13th. Oh my God!
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, we better just cash this whole thing and
Call
start
the
fresh
winner.
tomorrow.
Call the winner. I don't
Dispose
want
of
to
the
die.
business. I don't want to die.
That's
All
true.
right, Brendan.
Edit that out.
Oh,
You
yeah.
better get a board. He's
Hey,
fast.
hey, don't worry.
We'd be fine.
All right.
We'll go in the woods later.
All right. Brendan,
Number 2.
whiskey number 2. What did you give it? That was 4 roses.
Number 2, I gave it my number 1.
120. Chicken.
Same. 1 point.
I also gave it 1 point.
God, I feel
Lynn.
bad, dude. I don't, but I give it 3
1, 2, 3,
because I
Oddly,
liked it the
I
last
gave it
time.
a 4.
4.
Whoa.
4 roses was good the first time, and I
Yeah.
could taste it.
Yeah,
I knew
Tony,
what it
what
was.
did you
I also gave it 1.
Wow.
That is that
I
blows
knew
me
what it
away.
was.
The fact that this did as well as it did in its opening bracket,
I thought I would like it more.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to do stupidly good in this.
I feel like it finished like
I
free,
loved it.
like
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it hit me in the
In the
mouth and I was like,
Splendor bracket, it kicked everything's ass. But
It
then
was-
when
yeah.
it's here. It
Yeah.
like
That's amazing.
this is just to show this is tough competition when you get to the
Yeah.
championship.
It is.
match.
It's
So,
That was amazing.
now
That's
we move
amazing.
on.
This is where we
This
get
is a
everybody's
very
palates
good
to be
match.
like in a fight.
Now we're getting snobbish up in
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
All right,
Pinky's
actually,
out.
hang on. Here we
Pinky's
go.
out.
Hang on. All right.
Oh,
Whiskey number 4. We'll get to number 3 in a second. But whiskey number 4, Bowman Brothers. What did you give that, Brendan?
that's my number 3.
We're
Number
going
three?
out of order.
Three.
Okay, number 4.
3.
3. 1, 2, 3.
I gave it 2.
2.
I give it 1.
1.
I gave it a 3.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And I
Oh, go ahead. He doesn't count. He's like Washington, D.C.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's pretty boldy to say before the ballots are fucking counted, Mr.
Yeah.
K.O.E.
Oh, no, just Washington,
Wow.
D.C. They don't count.
Jesus. Sorry, let's go through that again. Did I mark mine down or not, Brandon?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Give me one more. Let's make
Yeah,
sure that
three,
this tally is correct. I wouldn't want some asshole over here telling me that I added votes after the fact. Brendan, what did you vote
I'm
this?
mailing it in.
Yep. Oh.
Oh yeah, it'll
Which
come
one?
back at 3 in the morning.
Which one?
Yeah, number 4.
Number 4. Oh, sorry.
At 3 in the morning, you
Three,
get your ballot.
okay.
Don't worry about it.
I know, we did.
We're doing it again. Make sure.
Tony's
3.
6. Okay. Phil.
I gave it 2.
Okay. So that's 8. Okay.
Is this number 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
had a 1.
We're
8, 9.
I had a 3.
Okay. 12. Okay. There we go. And with mine, that does still count because this is still fair and honest election.
Late ballot.
There we go. 14.
Okay.
Ooh.
There.
Now, let's move on to number 3. We put it off long enough. Brennan, how many did you give number 3?
That was my 4.
4 points? 4 points! I also gave this 4 points.
Whoa.
Guess what, guys? 4 points.
What?
Oh, my.
Guess it
Oh,
was
not
that
Jeremy.
I got a 2.
It was that fucking good.
2.
Tony.
Good.
So, all right.
5 out of 6 ain't bad.
Tony, how many
Oh.
points did 4 Roses get?
4 Roses, surprisingly in the championship after doing so well in its tournament bracket, got an 11.
11. So you
That
did
is not
win.
going to be enough.
We shall
Still gotta get yeeted.
Did so
Now,
good.
Tony,
I yeet.
Yeet.
old granddad,
I'll still take it home.
how
if
many
you
points
want.
did this take?
Old Granddad, no big surprise here, was a shockingly big favorite. It got 13.
13.
Yeet.
On Friday the
Unfortunately-
13th.
Get on him.
Yeet.
I don't know if I want to-
Get on him.
Tony, the Bowman brothers from
That
Virginia.
was
How many
actually
points did this get?
really good.
It was
Number 4, Bowman Brothers of Virginia.
Not
The
either.
outsider got 14.
Nice. But not enough for We
That
Shall
was pretty
Yeet.
good.
It was the
Tony.
outsider. I give it a 1.
William LaRue Weller, how
Yep.
many points did this bad boy get?
Phil, you called this from the first review we did of it. I'll give you that. This was a heavy-handed one, and it pretty much destroyed the competition, not only in the opening bracket, but in the championship matchup by getting 5, 10, 15, 22 points among 6 judges. 22 points
In a blind.
for your
Blowout.
2022 16 Bourbon Sweet 16 Championship Tournament.
William LaRue Weller, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 62.65 alcohol by volume, 125.3 proof, barrel proof, limited edition, uncut, unfiltered bourbon whiskey. You are the grand champion of this Sweet 16 Bourbon Tournament. Folks, I am the grateful, the elated, the excited Phil K.O.E. I want to extend my gratitude on behalf of the K.O.E. Nation on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch to all of you out there for joining us on this journey. And I also want to send a special thanks to all of you amazing cast members who helped make this tournament possible. I'm Phil K.O.E. of K.O.E. Nation, but we also had
Tony fucking G. Tony the Rod 2.0 on the TikTok. Tony G on Big Buckin' Empire at the Linktree/Big Buckin'. You know you gotta go check that shit out. Damn it!
We also had
Chicken, your Big Buckin' Emperor of Big Buckin' Empire, Facebook, YouTube.
I think he's still tallying numbers over there.
Waka Waka. But also, special thanks to
Skinner West. Definitely want to give a shout out to all the other guys that didn't win this tournament. And dude,
True.
yeah, every
stuff.
single one of these
Very
was
shout.
fucking excellent. You guys are not losers. You're all winners because you are all
Well,
awesome.
to be fair, there was really only one loser.
But there was
this
one
year.
giant winner.
Elijah Craig 18.
Elijah.
Yeah. Elijah,
Yeah.
sorry.
One fucking giant winner, and the rest of you guys were
You don't even get
fucking awesome.
dispensation.
Thank you for your fucking effort of making great shit. Because
Thank you.
Just not Elijah Craig 18.
Yes. And
Yes.
also, we were joined for the first time ever, making his first time KOE Nation appearance. The one, the only.
Jeremy, you can call me Jeremy. Really rare to find. You can find me on Facebook, Twitch. You can find me on.
what's your Twitch thing?
I don't know.
We'll get to that later.
We'll drop a link somewhere.
Yes.
Drop a link somewhere.
And also,
Hey,
also
keep
last,
in tune with these guys.
last but certainly not least, we were joined all the way from the Northeast, the beast from the East himself,
The beast.
came and joined us to really help decide this. The one, the only.
Brendan from Dads Worldwide. Can't stand me? Hate mail at dadsww.com. Can't wait to hear from you.
Yes.
Elijah Craig 18, you can suck it.
Boom. Yes.
Yes.
Send that mail.
Okay.
Brendan from Dad's over here, over there, just about everywhere. It's been a great time.
Dad's
folks.
under your fucking bed.
Yes. So, folks, as I'm
in the
known to say
sky.
around here,
Dad's on the plane.
wait,
Dad's on the moon.
how do you grade that, Jim?
Oh, the blend?
Yes.
Tony?
I'm actually enjoying this. This is actually pretty fucking
Blend.
nice.
I'm still drinking
yeah,
the Weller.
I was saying,
I'm giving it a B.
I was gonna say like that's not a bad choice.
I'm going to blend the other
I'm
three.
on 3
Yeah.
right now. 3 drinks on my blend.
A
This is-
minus.
This is really good. I really like
It's
this.
it's
A
really
minus.
good. A minus.
So there you go, folks. The
Yeah.
Blend
I'm
Masters,
giving it
all of this data
I like
you
it.
needed. And folks, as I'm going to
Sticking
say
with B
around
minus.
here, all that being said, thank you for joining us here at the KOE Nation for this Sweet 16 Bourbon Tournament. Thank you all for joining me, gentlemen. Thank you for making this possible. Thank all of you for making this possible, folks. I am the devilishly handsome outlaw himself, your king of extreme, Phil KOE, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes the other podcast cower, the prince and potentate of the political parlance, the lord of the Scottish Highlands, and one damn handsome man if I do say so myself. Find me at KOE Nation on YouTube, KOE Nation on TikTok, KOE Nation on Twitch. Thank you. God bless America, and I can't wait to catch you on the flip side. Travel well.
Here and see if it just smooths itself out.
Tell you what I'll do. if I ever get back. I promise to refabricate you, raging rivers of gold. That's what the brochure advertised. And now we're lost. We gotta take it down. Let you down slow. It's hard to survive. Oh, I was muted. So, folks, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going to come clean here, folks. There's been something that's been weighing heavy on my mind for the last couple of nights. I'm really glad I had the weekend I did, but for the last few weeks now, but especially this last week, it's been weighing heavy, and it's been put so perfectly by, of all folks, Billy Bob Thornton. So if you know, you know. If you don't, I envy you. But this is written by Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah, I've never been the same since my brother died. There's a melancholy in me that never goes away. I'm 50% happy and 50% sad at any given moment. And the only advice I can give people for when they lose someone like that is that you won't ever get over it. And the more you know that and embrace it, the better off you are. I don't want to forget my brother. I don't want to forget what I felt when he died, because he deserves that. That's how important he was to me. So if I have to suffer, if I have to be sad for the rest of my life, if I have to be lonely without him, without his particular thing, his sense of humor, and what he brought to life, then that's the way I'll honor him. Billy Bob Thornton. So, folks, all that being said, we're going to call it an evening. This poem of the week. God bless. Travel well, y'all. Oh Me, Oh Life by Walt Whitman. Oh me, oh life, of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish, of myself forever reproaching myself, for who more foolish than I, and who more faithless, of eyes that vainly crave the light, of objects mean, of the struggles ever renewed, of the poor results of all, of the plodding and sordid crowds I see around me, of the empty, useless years of the rest, with the rest me intertwined. The question me, oh sad recurring, what good amid these, oh me, oh life? Answer, that you are here, that life exists, an identity, that the powerful play goes on, and that you may contribute a verse. Oh Me, Oh Life by Walt Whitman. That was this poem of the week. If you've got a poem you'd like me to read, or if you'd like me to read your poem, please just let me know in the comments. I love the imagery of beautiful, beautiful poetry. God bless. Travel well.